Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up, Chels? What up, Conrad? Tans, Jason. Trump is king. Man. Mask off. Mask off.
Evening.
Yellow.
How are you?
Doing good. Are you a Trump supporter?
I am indeed, very much so. I think he's doing wonders for the world, especially for the United States of America. And I think that the Democrats are in an absolute mess right now. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who's leading them. That big booty Latina AOC, she's going around doing this oligarch tour, but she don't even know what an oligarch is. Um, Honestly, I think this big, beautiful bill is going to pass through the Senate. It's going to get on Trump's desk on July 4th. And honestly, you're going to see a significant change in the way that we do business here in the United States.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna, if that bill passes, we're gonna explode the deficit. We're gonna explode the debt. We're gonna give Trump more power, and he won't be able to be stopped by federal injunctions, which is terrifying. It pretty much makes him a dictator. And I think that anybody who champions this bill is completely uninformed, scary. I don't know. And I think I would like to hear from you. What do you think Trump is doing that is so great right now for the United States that doesn't involve
That bill,
sending
there is
people?
1.4 trillion in savings. It ensures that
Where do you get
Medicare
that
goes to
number?
correct
Where do you get
people.
that number?
It was online. I mean, like, I'm not going to get the exact figure, but it's trillions in savings, and it
It's not.
ensures that.
It's like 5.3 in spending. 5.3
But
trillion
this
in
is the argument that the
spending.
Democrats try to make about spending. They're trying to say that, okay, because we're increasing spending here, they're not taking into account the savings that this bill will bring that account for the spending in this bill. And I
Yep.
think at the end of the 4 years, you'll judge Trump and you'll see look, the Republicans are going to get
No, but no, there are even
overwhelmingly.
Republicans that have come out and said, absolutely not. This bill is exploding the deficit. We will not
Oh,
vote for this.
these Republicans are just they never vote. I mean, look, Rand Paul, he never votes for
What do you think about
extra
Elon
spending.
Musk coming out and condemning it?
Elon, right? So you need to listen to what Elon Musk is actually saying and what he's doing. Is he really disagreeing with the president, or
Yes.
is he trying to move the news cycle away from the fact that they were trying to say that, oh, Elon Musk is a druggie, Elon Musk is this? Quite honestly, I don't think Elon Musk even believes what he posted
That's
to
a
say. I think it was a distraction to move the news cycle away from him and to make.
I think that's a big cope. It's a big cope. It's obviously a huge spending bill. It's like it's enormous. It's gonna explode the deficit.
I see. This is where I think we disagree, and I think another
You can't
point in
just
which
disagree. It's math.
I mean, it's not though. This is the thing. 'Cause you're not. Also, the people that did the math, the what was it, the Office for Spending or whatever. These guys have been wrong like so many years. They were the ones that said back when it was Trump's first presidency. These guys said that the tax hike. So I was reading the comments. Isn't this guest English? I have an English accent. Yeah.
Hey, don't read the comments. Debate with me if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll call. I'll debate with you, my friend. But look, ultimately, Trump 2028. Let's see a third. Let's see a third term. Let's really push the Constitution and get what we want. I think ultimately, once
Push the
he's delivered,
Constitution.
yeah, tweak it a little bit, make an amendment.
Okay, but you know how that's done, right? I'm going to take that as a no. Some analysis indicate that if the temporary provisions were extended without offsets, the big beautiful bill would add 5.1 trillion in spending. Mind you, Elon Musk came in and he saved us a whopping 12 or 16 billion dollars. That's, I mean, it's like pouring a cup of water in the ocean. What do you want, Liam?
Just wanted to say hello and ask you a couple questions.
All right.
Um, I was listening to a lot of conversating about, commuted sentences, pardons,
Yeah,
and all this. Did you get on that topic at all?
I know that he is like probably selling pardons again. Yeah,
Selling pardons?
yeah.
So all presidents kind of do that, right?
Can you tell me about another president who did that?
How about Joe Biden commuting sentences for mass unalivers, 37 of them?
He didn't sell. He didn't do that. So he didn't he those people are still in death row, right? Or they're still locked up. But the thing is, Trump went on a spree of doing the federal death penalty, and Joe Biden was saving their lives. That's what he was doing.
Are you for the First Step Act?
I don't think it's like a
The
huge
man, the
great thing.
legend,
No.
super chatted $2. YouTube, 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 YouTube.
Thank
That's
you
annoying.
for the $2.
So go ahead. What did you say about the First Step Act?
I don't really have any I don't really have any great opinions on the First Step Act. It's probably decent. I heard that it saved a lot more like white people than people of color.
Larry Hoover, is he a white guy?
I don't know. Is he?
You want to type it in on your computer there, and so you can follow along with me?
Okay. He looks like a person of color. Looks like a black guy.
Yeah. So he was sentenced for six unalivings, I believe. He's like an American gangster who was involved in a lot of crime. Yeah, but Trump commuted his sentence at the federal level, but at the state level, he still has 200 years. So he'll spend the rest of his life in the penitentiary. But
The
if you
man, the
read,
legend, super chatted $2. You are welcome, my brother. Sorry for interrupting.
Thank you.
thank you for apologizing for the interruption. That was great. Anyway, so he was a big advocate for the First Step Act because that they said that under Obama's second term, Obama tried to pass the First Step Act
Yeah.
and was blocked by the Republicans.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so he couldn't get it done. So the racist himself, Donald Trump, came in and got it done. And then criminals that have put in the work, like Mr. Hoover, because if you follow his story, he speaks out against criminal activity now and stuff. He's really done some amazing things, even though he's going to spend the rest of his life in penitentiary. I brought that up because I saw some other TikTok creators that were really coming after Trump for some of these commuted sentences.
Yeah.
And I wonder why you guys never talk about things like the First Step Act. I
don't
think
know
it's a great. I think it's a great.
I don't think the First Step Act makes his criminality now okay. I don't think it makes it okay that he's like going around. Liam is a racist. Thank you,
Big
Fluff, for the
Fluff
$2.
713 super chatted $2. Liam is a
And why is
racist.
it? And,
Okay, hold on.
and why is it that? Wait a minute. Why is it that I have to address that because my name was brought up? Why is it without any proof people like myself are called racist? Because I voted for Trump?
I don't have an answer for that, but I know that racism is not a deal breaker if you voted for Trump.
But I mean, it's hysterical. It's funny to you. I see that, that someone's called racist without the proof. So I'm for reinstating slavery or something in this country.
I don't know. I think it. Do you know they did a study? I think it was Harvard that they associated racism with low IQ.
Probably, I would say that that correlates. I wouldn't say it. Yeah, but you know what? I'd have to push back on that as well too, because you think that there hasn't been educated people that have downright hatred for groups, and maybe it's more like money. They see more wealth. Do you think there was anyone that was that made a lot of money off of the backs of slaves?
I don't know how you did this. But Jafer and Jason K have already
Let me
picked Marcus.
guess. Let me guess. You're kicking me right now. Every time.
Wow. Yeah, he's gone. Talk about
Big
token-
Fluff 713 super chatted $2. It's how you talk about and token black people.
Big Fluff. Dude, if y'all want to be able to do this text-to-speech stuff, you can super chat me on YouTube. That's how they're doing that, if you guys are wondering. Follow me on YouTube. All right, let's go to the next guest. Guys, if you're friendly, please hop out of the box. I love you guys. If you're friendly, I love you so much. Please hop out, though. I can't be like... I don't get how you can point to some of Trump's actions in the past and be like, look, he shook some dude's hand he was black. There's no way it could be racist. Like things like that, they don't matter. That doesn't make it okay for Trump to do the things he's doing today. It doesn't make it okay for him to go around and pardon all these criminals. I read an article earlier. There is somebody who's tracking the pardons that Trump is doing, and I think he's amounted up to like $1.6 billion in, I guess, money, like tax evasion. So he's commuted or he's pardoned people who have stolen or done a fraud total of $1.6 billion.
Chris super chatted $1.99. Pickles is 5'4".
Chris, thank you for the thank you for the $2. 1.6 billion should have been restitution. Oh, that should have been restitution. That's right. Yeah. People that owe $1.6 billion in like damages or restitution to their victims. Thank you for catching that. That's right. But yeah, it's very open and obvious. Like, what would you say, MAGA? What will you say when Trump pardons Diddy? What will you say? That he was unfairly treated? I want to know your opinion right now on Diddy for when he eventually does it, so that I could catch you in 4K excusing this or condemning Diddy so that you look like a hypocrite. Yellow.
Hi.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
Oh, what I love about Trump is I love how he's trying to make America great again and bring back traditional values and putting
Traditional values?
putting more money in the pockets of Americans.
The man, the legend, super chatted $2. Chris, that's means.
What do you think
Stop
a traditional
it.
value
That's a
is?
bad Chris.
Oh, traditional values, like how it was in like the 60s, 50s, and 80s, to where
Like women stay at
the
home?
the father was working and taking care of their family, gas was cheap.
That's not a
You
value.
could have what?
That's not a traditional value. Cheap gas is not a traditional value. Everybody wants cheap gas.
To where the man was working and the woman was at home.
Isn't that kind of... It's kind of cringe. In 2025, you're sticking with that one?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What do you think is
like
so good about that? Wouldn't that kind of like hurt our economy?
no, it would not hurt our economy.
What do you mean?
It would honestly be better if we would not let anyone into our country.
Okay. Do you want to stick to this whole trad wife thing? Like, do you think that...
Oh yeah, 100%.
So do you think that putting half of our workforce females, keeping them at home to raise children, do you think that's good for the economy?
Yeah, because as you see it right now, like you see all these like kids running amok, and they have no one to take care of them, and like yeah, and when they have a mother at home, a father who works, and they see how hard their father works, they like.
What are the end results of that, Ty? What are the bad outcomes that you're talking about?
The bad outcomes?
Yeah.
You know, there's no bad outcomes. It's all amazing.
It's all amazing.
Yes,
I'm talking about the
100%.
bad outcomes of people not having parents at home, which I think is kind of BS. I think people like have nannies, people have daycare, people have all sorts of things that are just fine. Can you like tell me the outcomes of people having a nanny or having two parents that work?
I mean, when there's two parents that work, then they're not able to raise their kids as efficiently. It feels like the kids are growing up without their parents when they rarely see them. It's horrible.
And what are the like what is that causing? What kind of problems is that causing in society, do you think?
Oh, like it seems like they're growing up without a mother who like cares about them. They see like a
I'm
mom
waiting
who just
for
wants.
I'm waiting for like a real like symptom of this, right? Like I'm waiting for you to tell me like, okay, well, it's causing more crime or it's causing like
Well,
single
when the parents are
parent
not at home,
households.
the kids see that as a way. Oh, I can just go do whatever I want, and then crime goes up. It's all bad.
How do you think you're going to legislate traditional values into Americans today? How are you going to convince women to not pursue a career and to stay at home and be a baby machine?
Well, wouldn't necessarily see it as a baby machine, but maybe we would roll back same-sex marriage and not have that be a thing.
What is that going to fix?
Well, it would show people that it like we
Christians,
like
the Bible Belt is the capital of divorce rates. So you guys are not setting the example. In fact, gay couples are less likely to divorce.
like don't you see how the population is like decreasing and we need more kids and more people in this world
You think
to
you think taking away gay marriage is going to fix that?
yes, because then people wouldn't be allowed to get married, and yeah, then we would see more couples getting married, like a man and a woman, and then they have kids,
That's
and
not
it's
going
all
to do it.
good.
Thank you so much for becoming a member, William. I don't think that taking away gay marriage is going to make people turn straight, bro. You really think that's going to happen?
Well, that's subjective. That's your opinion.
That's not, dude. That it's not even just an opinion. I just don't think that's even reality. In
Well,
what world
prove it with
do
some
do you
facts,
think
some
do you think that
sources, or it's just a trust me,
do you
bro.
think that somebody's gonna go, damn it, I can't get married to the person I really love, so I'm gonna try the opposite gender or the opposite sex now? Do you really
Yeah.
think that's a line of reasoning someone has, or a line of logic?
Yes, I 100% believe it. It's that's the way America needs to be.
What the fuck? That's not gonna happen. What if you couldn't marry a woman? Ty, are you straight?
Yes.
If you couldn't marry a woman, if I outlawed it right now, would you go and try dating men?
I would move to another country.
So you wouldn't turn gay.
No.
Well, that proves my point right
Isn't
there.
that like a sin in the Bible or whatever? I don't know.
Depends on which Bible you're reading.
I know. I read all the Bibles.
Okay. Well, it's just as much. All sins are equal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be subjective too.
Are you wearing like two different types of fabric right now?
Yeah.
Straight to prison.
I guess so. Well, this was fun, right?
Not really.
Yeah. I'm gonna go, but yeah, have fun.
All right. That was Ty, chat. That was the guy that like last week was trying to convince everybody that he changed his mind, that he was liberal. And shocker, he was lying. He's back to his old ways.
What's up, man?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am, yeah. Did you happen to see that guy's profile?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he clearly had a something was wrong. He had a yeah, he
That's
wasn't all
Ty.
there.
Do you know who Ty is? He's a common debater amongst the community.
No, I don't know who he is, but
Yeah.
he is not a good look for conservatives. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was curious. I heard his voice, and he sounded like a an actor. And I looked.
Yeah, that's
And I
Ty.
looked.
He's a conservative. I've seen him debate for like years. He is a conservative.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I know Candy. He's one of me. Yeah. No, I just thought that was hilarious. I took a look at his profile, and I didn't know if you knew what he looked like or anything. He clearly has something mentally wrong with him.
I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. I mean, besides being
Yeah.
conservative.
That's fair. All right, but yeah, I was curious if you've talked to him before or not. That was absolutely brutal.
All right.
We've talked before. I've debated. I have no interest. We've already debated many times. So I was just curious if you're entertaining him just for the sake of entertainment, or if you do what his deal was.
So, no debate?
No debate.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Brad.
See you, bro.
Hello?
What's going on?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
There's a lot I like, but first I'd like to ask you that about that mess Trump had to clean up in was it Boulder, Colorado? That illegal immigrant who slaughtered a bunch of people the other day that Biden let in.
First of all, that guy was legally here, wasn't he? Second of all, I don't think
ille-
anyone died.
He was illegal.
No, he wasn't.
Illegal. Yes, he was.
All right, we're gonna pull
Look
this
it up.
up. Overstayed
Mr.
visa.
Joe Biden.
Okay.
Oh shit!
So he was
Did you guys
supposed to
clip
be.
that?
So
Did you guys clip that?
So he came here legally, right?
He had an overstayed visa. He's illegal.
He came here legally. His entry was legal, so you can't blame Biden for his entry.
He's illegal. When he committed the crime, is he illegal or not?
Okay, so was the overstay?
Answer my question.
Yes. Yeah.
He's illegal.
It's
Is he illegal or not?
Dude, you're going nuts. Yes, he overstayed his visa.
I'm not
which is
going nuts. I want you to answer the question.
It's a civil matter. Yeah.
It's not a civil matter. He murdered people.
He didn't. Was there actually? Did someone die?
Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah. I think everyone got injured.
Oh, that's okay with you?
No one died.
Oh, so it's cool, right?
No, you're just misrepresenting things.
No, I'm telling you exactly how it is. He
No,
shot
you
at
said
people,
that he
no?
slaughtered people. He shot at people? What? Have you read anything past headlines?
Are we reading the same thing?
Yes. I hope so.
I don't think so. I think you're very confused.
Dog, he set them on fire. He didn't shoot people.
Oh. He set them on fire.
Bro, you don't even know what you're talking about.
So you're cool with that, right?
No, I condemn that. What are you talking about?
Well, no, you don't condemn it because you're voting for the liberals who let him in.
He came here legally.
He's fucking illegal.
He came here legally, right? His pathway, his entry into the United States was legal. Would you admit that?
Is he illegal or not?
Is he illegal?
You're a weak beta soy boy.
I sure am.
And people like you who promote these people should get your ass whooped.
Okay.
Because you let these illegals run around the country hurting innocent Americans, and you vote the people who let them in.
Oh, man.
And so you know what?
He came here legally. What are we supposed to do about that?
You're just as guilty as they are, and you're a weak little bitch just like they are.
John, are you having some big feelings right now?
Yes, because I'd love to see you face to face and kick your ass for all the people that they hurt. Innocent Americans.
I'd like to see you try.
I'd whoop your ass and wipe the floor with you, guy. You're a pussy, just like the rest of the
I'm
liberals.
sure you would.
I know I would, and you know I would. But you and these liberals have a big TikTok fan base
Hey,
that
are you
keeps you going for
you gonna
some
be all
reason.
right? You gonna be all right?
Well, it depends. It depends actually. Do you want to meet up in person and live stream this?
Are you gonna be okay? You got some big feelings?
No, no. Let's do it. You want to meet up in person and live stream it?
I don't do that. I use my words. I use my words.
Yeah, use your words because you're a pussy.
No, because I'm smart.
Because you're a pussy. Because you're a pussy.
You gonna be all right,
So,
dude?
so here's the thing. DM me. We'll find a place to do it, and we'll get it on live stream.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, bub.
And
I'll
I
go right
could
to it.
show the liberals. I could show the liberals exactly the type of people they vote for. You
Mhm.
vote for pussies that are pussies like you. By the way, were you raised by a single mother?
My mom's married.
Were you raised by a single mother? That's not what I asked.
She was single at some points, yeah, but she was married at
Yeah,
some points
there
too.
you go. Explains exactly.
Explains
I didn't even
everything.
know that. I knew you were raised by a single mother because you're a pussy, just like a woman.
My older brother's a Marine. He was raised by the same woman. Is he a pussy?
Fuck him too.
Okay.
Is he?
You there, big bub? You there, bub?
Huh?
You there? You okay? You got
Huh?
a camera? You got a camera, big bub?
Send me a place to meet up. Me and you are doing it.
I like women. I'm good.
Really? You sound like a faggot.
All right, that's a slur, bub.
Oh, you just swallowed.
That's a slur. I think he was flirting though. He's just flirting with me. Hello?
What's up, dude?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Well, I have a couple questions. So everyone's calling Trump like his cognitive decline right now and saying that he's incompetent to be president. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Did you say the same thing about Joe Biden?
Yeah, I would say like Joe Biden's mental acuity is probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I think Trump's is like a 2.
So you believe Joe Biden was completely incompetent being president of the United States
He was one
and
of the,
being elected to a second term.
yeah, I think he's probably top 10 presidents.
So you're lying to your viewers. So how much do you get paid by the DNC? Because
That
it's already
escalated
been
quickly.
proven. Wait, no. It's already been proven by the mainstream media when they came out and said, you know what, we screwed up and we didn't actually investigate this.
You
And there's
got me.
lots of people coming out.
You got me.
Like, no, seriously.
Are
This
you,
isn't
are
like
you
I'm not
emotional
trying
too?
to get you. Like, what?
Are you going to be emotional too?
What do you mean emotional? No, I'm like legit asking a question.
Okay.
Like, I'm not trying to like be a douchebag or like a got you moment. Like, this is a legit question. Like, not just
agree.
for
I agree.
Democrats and Republicans.
I want to show you an interview from Biden from like 2 days ago, and then I want to show you
Okay.
a Trump speech from a few days ago. You tell me who's
Okay.
more coherent.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, 4 days ago, Biden delivers remarks since.
I've already
diagnosis.
I've watched this one.
All right, but this is going to be for the audience then.
All right.
Thank you very much. The greatest honor of my life has been for 4 years being the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. The fact is that I don't think if I had come from any other state that would have happened. But in Delaware, everybody knows everybody. And it's important. It's important because, you know, we had that expression for the longest time. We do things the Delaware way. The Delaware way.
I miss him
Members
too.
of the House and Senate know, Democrat or Republican. They've learned to work together for the benefit of Delaware. Now remember, Tommy, we've been coming here for decades. First time I was here, I was reminded of that quote from R.G. Ingersoll, who said, "When the will defies fear, when duty throws the gauntlet down to fate, when they shun compromise with death, that's heroism." I remember thinking that day, the first time. Thinking about my uncles in World War II, thinking about people I knew, thinking about all the people who had laid down their lives. And ladies and gentlemen,
Very
it's good to
coherent,
be with so many
very
friends
clear, very noble.
on this solemn occasion. Tommy, Kyle, Lisa, Sarah, Nolan, and you're all outstanding leaders and proud Delawareans. And Chaplain, thank you for your invocation. I want to acknowledge the keynote speaker today, a pathbreaker and a patriot, Chief Warrant Officer Ernestine Epps. Ernestine.
All right. Now, let's go to Trump's speech. Let's talk about the lumberjack speech. Here's a transcript of the lumberjack speech. When you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, the drone is killing tremendous numbers of people. You hide behind a tree, the drone comes down and circles you with fire.
I'll
You
listen
don't have a
to you
chance.
the whole time, but play a video of it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and let you read it.
Okay.
Let's actually listen to it and how coherent two people are, because his did not sound coherent.
Okay,
He was reading off a script.
I want you to
You
actually,
got to admit that.
Excuse
He was
me.
reading an entire script.
I like the fact that Joe Biden can read. The tree comes down also, by the way. It's so intense. I mean, you see these trees being knocked down like they're being sawed down by a top-of-the-line timberman. And like you know who, Sean Duffy, you know who that Sean Duffy, the head of transportation department, who's working right now in the airports and getting a system because Biden didn't do a thing for 4 years. Pete Buttigieg was the head, and he goes bicycling into work. He takes a bicycle to work. Can you believe? He's running the biggest air system in the world, and he takes a bicycle to work. What in? And they say he's going to run for president. I don't see it. Who knows, right? But I don't see it. But when I look at what they've done, it's so horrible what they've done. And the work they do, they wasted billions of dollars trying to hook up air systems to copper. What is he fucking talking about? And then
Why
he
don't you
goes
play
on
the
to
video
say,
from the actual thing?
okay.
Okay, yeah, let's do that instead of reading a transcript.
I mean,
that you're transcribing, because no. We all listened to the transcript,
do you think,
and then we all read the transcript before it came out of Joe Biden's meeting with the FBI. Is that not two different things right there? And you all sat there and said Joe Biden was completely coherent and completely transcript
what you're
was
saying
completely true.
Is Trump can mask the incoherence of the context of his fucking statements with his cadence and the way he talks. So you're saying you think the cadence of the way Trump speaks makes up for the lack of comprehensibility of what he's fucking saying. He goes from Pete Buttigieg to saying air systems to saying copper and glass.
You're jumping on this saying that he's incoherent as a president.
He is.
But you've never said anything about Joe Biden. Nothing.
Can you give me your best? Can you give me your best Joe Biden speech? Because I can do one a week for Trump. I've got maybe two a week from Trump saying shit like this, talking about how Hannibal Lecter, the late great Hannibal Lecter, endorses him. Anthony Hopkins does not endorse him, but he said that every rally. He talked about sharks and batteries. He talked about airports being in the Revolutionary War. Talked about how magnets go poof underwater. He talks about nuking hurricanes. He is profoundly stupid and incoherent.
So he's profoundly stupid and he's incoherent, but yet he got elected to the highest office and yet has taken every test available from the medical and actually proved you guys what's gonna make you happy. If he goes in and live streams, live streams a medical hearing, so you can see that he's completely good.
Yeah,
let's do it side by side with Joe Biden and him. We did that. Oh, that's right. The debate.
You can still
what was wrong with the debate?
The debate, he was sick.
Oh, okay. What about when he fell on the Air Force Academy stage?
He fell.
He was sick then?
He fell.
He fell.
Ooh.
How about being walked around the White House with a bunny telling him where to go?
A bunny?
Yeah, the bunny at the White House, the Easter roll, 2 years ago, he had to be shown where to go, or a year ago.
I
My
have
bad.
I have a
No,
thing
2
where
years ago.
Trump's being shown where to go with a microphone like 2 weeks ago, dude.
No, this is a constant thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
there's
a
a
constant thing
thousand
for
things
Trump too.
going on in a presidential,
It's
you
a
know.
constant thing for Trump. Trump doesn't even read his intelligence briefings. He does not take intelligence briefings. He's taken 12 since he's been in office for 133
How do you know
days.
that for sure?
Because we see his schedule. It's public.
So you don't know if he's reading or doing
He's
stuff
not.
on the fly?
He's not.
He's not.
No.
So you're
his
100%.
former staff came out and said this in his first term too, that he doesn't like to read them.
Okay, so what about all his staff coming out for Biden saying that he was incoherent? They were hiding him from the general public.
How many of his
What
staff came out
about
and said
doing
that?
press conferences? We didn't see Joe Biden but what, 50 times in 4
Joe
years?
Biden doesn't like. He's not obsessed with himself. He's not a narcissist. He doesn't need a microphone every other day. He doesn't need a microphone.
Okay, in 2016 and before, Joe Biden was on the news almost every day and everything. When he was a senator, he was walking out to the news briefings almost every other day.
Okay.
So you can't say, "Oh well, he just stopped all of a sudden."
Okay, first of all, he's still more coherent than Trump. This week, that 4 days ago, still more coherent by far, but light years. So if Joe Biden has dementia, Trump definitely fucking has dementia.
All right. So did you read Jake Tapper's book?
No.
No. Okay. So in Jake Tapper's book is a lot of allegations, but in those allegations, there are some really public things that happened when he went to the Democratic. I forget what the heck the name is. Where he went and talked to the Democratic senators and everybody at Congress. He was set to say, "Hey, we need you to vote on this bill," and he had a 12-day trip after it. He never once did it. He didn't care about it. He doesn't know what's really going on, and I don't understand how everyone's jumping on. If you had this same, okay, listen, it's not just about Republicans and Democrats anymore. It's about the media lying to us. Do you not agree that all the media lies to us?
No.
From 2020 to 2016 on.
No.
So you don't think they lie at all?
I think they lie some.
They're completely.
But I'm not Lugenpressed. I'm not Nazi level Lugenpressed where I just don't believe any of the media. I only believe Daddy Trump. I do fact checking. I fact check the media. I fact check Trump all the time. Trump is probably the most prolific liar of our generation.
Okay, so when the media came out and said, yes, we lied, or well, we didn't lie, but we had information that was not true about when they came out against Trump with the whole dossier. There was
nothing not true. There was an investigation, and there were 37
getting
indictments.
The dossier. That's what I'm talking about.
Getting
the dossier. Yeah.
Are you talking about from what's his name? In the UK?
Adam Schiff? No, Adam Schiff. Okay, Adam Schiff came out and said, yes, we have information that he's colluding with Russia. 100%.
Yes. His team was, yes.
No, he said he was. He said Trump.
His campaign was, yes.
So what I'm asking is, Adam Schiff came out 3 or 4 times and said Trump is colluding with Russia. The Trump and Trump campaign.
Okay.
So you can't sit there and say, so why was Trump indicted on that? If Trump had nothing to do with it.
They can't indict a sitting president. He was never indicted for colluding with Russia.
No, but he was the House impeached him. Even though it didn't go through because
not for that.
Yes.
Dude, what are you talking? No,
that was the original. That was the original shit.
Nope.
They threw mud at the wall.
Wrong, James. I'm so sorry.
Okay, how
Let
am I
me correct
wrong?
you.
Explain.
The first impeachment.
Okay, go ahead.
The first impeachment was withholding funds from Ukraine. The second impeachment was for January 6th. You're wrong.
He didn't get impeached for January 6th.
Yes, he did.
When?
Oh my God.
He did not get impeached in January 6th.
Oh, bro. Dude. We've got an echo. The second impeachment was impeached 1 week before his term expired. On that date, the House adopted the article of impeachment against Trump, incitement of insurrection. Yes, it
And
is.
did he actually get impeached?
Okay, you're getting off topic now.
No, I'm asking. Like,
you're
no,
getting
I'm
off topic.
legitimately.
He was impeached, yes.
Okay, that's what I know what the difference being impeached and being confirmed by the senators.
Senate. Yeah.
I understand the two difference.
Yeah, they said that they were going to handle it in the courts outside of his presidency. That's why he wasn't. And the three people
did
that
he ever
voted
get
for him to be ousted were immediately primaried. They were scared for their jobs.
So you're telling me he was convicted for high crimes and misdemeanors?
No, he wasn't convicted, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So
Okay,
if they never convicted him, why didn't they?
You're sitting here moving the goalposts. We were talking about Russia. You said Russia had to do with
No.
impeachment.
You said they
It
were going to
absolutely
handle
does
it
not.
outside of the presidency.
James,
That's
we're
what I
gonna
was
rewind.
asking.
The conversation we were having was about Russia, and you said that he was impeached for Russia stuff. He was never impeached for Russia stuff,
Yeah.
bro.
I understand, but the original, when they came out trying to impeach him, they legitimately said this is for the Russia collusion.
No, it was
Then they moved the
not.
goalpost. Then they moved the
It was for
goalpost.
Ukraine.
What? Okay. What was it for the Ukraine? Because you said it was for money, keeping money from them.
Yes.
Right
He
around.
fucking withheld congressionally approved funds for 6 months, which is past the deadline, which you're legally allowed to, because he wanted to push Zelensky to dig up personal political beef on his opponent. His political opponent, Joe Biden. He wanted Zelensky to hand
So
over.
why wasn't it confirmed by Congress? If he legitimately did that.
He was impeached for it. We have a phone call for the quid pro quo. It's not even deniable that he literally said this. It's on recording.
Okay, my question still sits there because I'm pretty sure all the recordings that came out, never once did he quid pro, like, I'm going to hold
Yes,
funds from you unless you get political ammunition against Biden.
How did Ukraine not receive funds for 6 months then? How did that happen?
Ukraine shouldn't be receiving funds anyway.
I'm not saying whether they should or not. I'm saying why.
I don't remember. I honestly
You don't remember a lot of stuff, bro.
Didn't care. No. I did not care why the whole thing was going on. This is crazy. All I'm saying is Biden, back to my original theory here, and this is my only argument, is regardless if we're Democrats or Republican, Trump and Biden, if they took cognitive tests side by side, who would pass?
If both, and you know what?
With live video.
The cognitive tests that you're talking about it's literally like a third grader can pass it. You identify two fucking animals, some shapes and some colors. This is nothing.
Are you 100% sure he can pass that? Because he hasn't taken one since 2015.
He could read more coherently than Trump as of 4 days ago.
Oh, come on, dude. He couldn't read half the crap that he was doing. He didn't even know he didn't even know where he was at. They had to use the auto pin to make his signatures to even do anything.
None of this is proven how much and what was done by auto pin.
So wait.
This is
when it is
conspiratorial
proven,
stuff.
are you gonna come? No. You can't say it's conspiracy because you're sitting here thinking that Trump is cognitive decline so much that he can't be president. And we said the same thing for Biden for 4 years.
I think
and all you guys call
this
conspiracy theories.
I think reading Trump's speech off the dome is hearing a line of consciousness from Trump over the course of 2 minutes is terrifying. It is incredibly scary how dumb he is, how not there he is. To think that this man is making decisions for us when it comes to national security, with our economy, with all these things, being a diplomat to the world,
so,
it is
okay,
terrifying.
question in that. Wait, question in that. If it comes out that Biden was not cognitively there and everyone else around him was making decisions for him, are you willing to come on here and say Biden was not a good president?
No, because I would have that same scenario play out again right now. I would take Biden's dead corpse over Trump.
So you would want unelected officials running the country.
If they're doing the things like they did for Biden in his 4 years, yes, I want those people there again. Yes, the people who passed monumental legislation in mass amounts with a razor-thin margin in Congress, yes, I want that administration back.
So you want open borders, and hear me out for a minute. And you can say, oh, well, it wasn't open borders. Everybody back in 7 months ago was saying, yes, it's open borders.
No, they weren't. Only
Yes,
your side.
they
Your
were.
side. This is what Trump does. He goes around and says this for 4 years.
No,
and all of a
I'm
sudden
not
it's
talking
true.
about what Trump
It's true.
said.
Yes,
I
you
actually
are.
read the legislation. I
Yeah?
watched people come
Tell me about
across the border.
Tell me about the legislation that was passed that opened the border. Tell
There
me.
was none for the border.
That's what I thought.
There was none. There
So
was no
nothing
border.
happened?
Like the border patrol was like losing itself. The entire border was up in uproar. There was people coming across. We all seen the images of entire groups
Yeah,
coming across the Rio Grande.
images. I can show you
into
images right
Texas.
now. I can show you images right now. People floating across the border. But does it
Show
mean they're coming?
that are from right now.
No, who knows?
What do you mean? Who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, come on, dude. So you're saying those images weren't from right then?
I've seen instances of, yes, they were using very old images, but the truth is that 12 million people were encountered at the border, meaning Customs Border Protection.
No, I'm not talking about the entire border.
They encountered them, and then they told half of them to go back home, to go away. The border was not open. Biden's border security was more stringent than Trump's. We have the numbers to prove it.
What? You're okay. Now you're making shit up because
All right.
nobody has said that. Not even the legacy media. You cannot go off the board. Okay. Do you know what just came out recently about the Border Patrol?
Okay.
So it came out that the numbers are actually false because there's no complete record of everyone that came across the border. We cannot. We can't sit here and say, well, there was 1,200 encounters in entire 4 years.
All right. So all you're going to do is listen to Trump, who's literally
No,
exaggerated
I'm not
and
listening
lied.
to Trump. I'm
Who are you
actually
listening
reading
to?
and researching.
No, you're not.
I've researched this. I've
You
been
haven't
there.
researched
I've
anything. I
been to the
promise
border.
you. I bet you have a negative 37 IQ on the border, but here's what the numbers are. 50% is what Biden turned away at the border. So if we were looking at the numbers and weren't just listening to Trump yapping and campaigning on this, you'd go, damn, Biden's doing pretty good at the border. Trump was 47. So it wasn't open, was it? It wasn't wide open. It was more stringent, right?
Yes,
Wait,
it was.
How is
He
it
would
wide
let
open when he's turning
anybody get
50% of the people away?
Anybody get a visa, then they would get a work visa, then they would overstay it and then kill people here in the U.S. or try to attempt to.
Okay, that's also a boogeyman. First of all, if you're giving
How's
a
that
work
boogeyman?
visa,
I live here in Colorado. You're gonna tell me that was
I live in
boogeyman?
Texas. Yeah, I live in Texas. First of all, the crime rates of undocumented migrants are so low.
Yeah, are like 2% compared to the American citizens because there's 10 million people
It's
here,
not just. It's
and
not
there's
just
like
that.
a 2 million person
No, it's not just
illegal
that.
immigrant.
It's not just that. But if you look
Per
at the
capita, how much
crime
is
rate,
it?
if you look at the crime
Yes,
rate,
look at crime rate per capita.
I will.
Let's
I
look
will.
at that.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I bet
How do
you've
we know
never done
who's
that.
here illegally or not, though?
We have it all documented. Dude, you've never looked into this. You've never looked into this. I promise
Oh,
you.
come on, dude.
There's
How many people
literally-
do you think?
I
Go
know.
ahead.
I know how much. Last year, 29 people were murdered by undocumented migrants. 29. That's the number. It's the lowest
Is that not
demographic
29
of people
more
murdered.
people that should have been murdered by undocumented immigrants?
Yes, yes. You know what? You can say
That's all I'm
excess.
saying. It has nothing to do with presidential stuff.
So now
We should be stronger on the border.
So now-
it shouldn't be 50% or 47%
So-
or 2%. It
so-
should be 100%.
So
Do you
now
not
you're
agree
saying,
with that?
So now you're saying we need to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to make 29 to 0?
Yes. Yes,
That's stupid.
absolutely.
I can-
1,000%.
Okay, here's
We
my
need to
argument.
secure
This is-
the homeland
this is-
and take care of our country before we take care of other people's countries.
You
If
made
we
two-
secure
you made two mistakes in your argument already, okay? You're saying
What?
that people who used legal means to come here, like a work visa, if you're coming in with a work visa and we're checking who you are, making sure you don't have a violent crime history, and you're allowed in, what's your concern? Tell me.
there's a lot of concerns. They shouldn't just be, hey, let's let someone in. Do you know
Okay,
how
what
hard it
extra
is
stuff
to
should
do
we
it? Wait,
do?
wait, wait.
What
No,
extra stuff?
Let me. What?
What extra stuff should we do?
Lots of stuff. So, for example, a background check in New Mexico is not as easy as everyone sounds it to be. It's not like we can show up to an FBI office or anything here and just let it rock.
We have better background
It-
checks
it
in Mexico.
takes- What?
We have better background. We have Interpol, dude.
Yeah, Interpol is not completely indicted into Mexico.
Okay, they're literally whatever you're about to say. We've thought of it, and we do that when it's appropriate. And if somebody wants to come over on a work visa, we look into these things. Okay, and if the truth is, if we were to flood the United States with these types of migrants, if we flooded the state of Texas with 30 million migrants, the crime rate would plummet to 1/3. It would plummet. So what you're crying about 29 people being murdered. What you don't see is the 12 million people who aren't committing any crime and are contributing to society. That is the safest country on earth. If you were to take 12 million people, aka all the undocumented migrants that are here in the United States, and you put them on an island and only 29 murders happen, that is the safest country in the history of the planet. And you're still crying about it?
What you're misrepresenting is that I don't want illegal immigration here.
Yeah, I know.
What
it's
I
emotional.
want is immigration. Hold on.
It's
No,
it's
what?
it's an emotional thing.
It's not emotional.
Yes,
Just
it is.
hear me out for a moment. Okay, so I know illegal immigrants here, and they do good shit. And I tell them all the time, why don't you try to go get something fixed for that? Well, we can't because we got caught coming across the border in the last 10 years. Like, I have to go back to my country for 10 years before I can come back here. And they make good money and everything else. But they still broke the law. I mean, it's just like everybody else. If you broke the law, you broke the law.
It
doesn't matter if it's civil. So you're telling me that if you are speeding, you should still get away with it because it's the lowest one in the U.S. Come on, dude.
I'm saying that
we have laws for a reason.
No. I'm saying that if I'm speeding, I shouldn't be sent to one of the world's worst prisons for the rest of my life. That's what Trump's doing. With no due process.
No. So you're telling me we send him back to another country, and Trump has the power to say he needs to go to prison.
He literally flew the plane to the prison and walked him to the prison gates. And then 9 women.
So why did he go to prison? Because it wasn't our laws that sent him to prison. Trump kidnapped him.
Yes.
No, he sent him back to the country where he belongs.
He kidnapped him.
Just like if you were to illegally immigration into the UK or Germany, they're going to send you back, regardless of where you're at. No, without due process.
With due process.
The UK sends you immediately back. You're not going to just allow. They're not going to allow you to live in their country.
Are you one of those people that don't think that, like, undocumented migrants don't have constitutional rights?
I didn't say they didn't have constitutional rights. They don't have the same rights as American citizens.
Is due process a constitutional right that they have?
I don't think they should have a constitutional right for due process.
They should.
If you
do you
illegally
think that
get
they
here,
do?
it should be. What question for you? If you illegally cross the border and there's no other evidence beyond that, how easy is that court case? Did you cross legally or not? If they go yes, go back to your country.
Okay.
But instead they play this immigration game. And all these different things takes 5 to 7, 10 years, and they have hundreds of court cases. And you have to admit, the courts, not them in
due
particular,
process being
there's
constitutional
hundreds.
is too hard, is what you're saying? It just gets too hard for people to have rights?
No, I think if you illegally immigrate into this country, just like, okay, for example, if you get caught for a DUI, you get put in jail that day, right or wrong?
Yeah, and you can be bailed out.
Bailed out, right?
Yeah.
So
and then
if you want to come into this country illegally, you should be sent to your country, and if you want to come back, they can bail you out.
No,
why not? Why not have the same system?
Due process is here. Due process is here. So what you're conflating is people awaiting trial in jail and going all the way to another jurisdiction. Can't
Country,
do that.
yeah.
Can't do that.
Oh, come on. We have video.
No. So
come on.
No. What you're missing is the fact that if Abrego Garcia and the 100+ other people got to see a judge before they were kidnapped and thrown into jail in CECOT, the judge would have said, "Hey, we have a non-removal order that says that this man specifically can't be sent back to El Salvador. That's why we need due process."
Yes, to El Salvador, but he could be sent anywhere else.
Yeah, well,
right?
Isn't
that true? He couldn't stay here, but he couldn't go back to we could not send him back to El Salvador.
Yeah,
right or wrong.
Correct. Yes, you can send him anywhere else. And what I'm arguing for is not for Abrego Garcia to come here and for a million Abrego Garcias to come here and stay here forever. I am fighting for the fact that people get to see a judge and that a man who paints his face fucking orange doesn't get the last say on whether people are in prison for the rest of their lives.
That's not our choice. If we send them to another country and they imprison them, that's up to their country.
No.
Right or wrong?
Trump sent them directly to the prison, bro.
Yes. And that's up to that president to either let him out of prison or put him in the prison. Right or wrong?
You're sitting here acting like Trump just didn't know they were going to go to prison, even though he paid them
No, he
to
doesn't
take them
matter.
for prisoners.
Where
It's
we sent them? The president said, send the plane here. We sent the plane there. It does not matter
He's paying
what
them
happens
to
when
put them
that
in
plane
prison.
lands in El Salvador.
He's paying them $6 million to put them in prison.
So he paid $6 million to have that one man put in prison.
No, I think it was the group of them.
And how many of those created violent crimes here in the U.S.?
Literally 70% had no criminal record in either country. And Trump knew that.
So you're telling me that 70% had no felony crimes?
Not
They weren't
even a fucking misdemeanor.
anything.
Nothing. No.
I just, there's not one sense that makes that sense, because all those people that went over there, listen to me, if all those people went over there and they put them in prison, you would think that the president wouldn't even give a shit. Why would they keep him in jail? Why would they keep him in prison?
Maybe because Trump paid them, paid Bukele, the authoritarian dictator of El Salvador, to put them there.
Dude, I don't know. I want to see that policy that he made that rule. Everyone that goes back to your country must go into prison forever.
Okay. He literally tried to send 9 women. It was like 8 people and then a 9th other person who was a Central American. Bukele said, listen, I don't imprison women. You got to take these women back. He wasn't just sending them to the country. He was sending them directly to the prison. The fact that Bukele wouldn't imprison the women, he sent them back on a plane back to the United States. He wasn't just
And
sending
so
them
those
to the
women
country.
are just freed in our country.
I don't know. They're probably in jail right now in our country.
And so should they not be if they cross the border illegally?
No,
I'm
it's
not
a
moving the
civil case.
goalposts.
No.
That's just a question.
No. So if they're in prison here, Trump is still doing this thing. He's perpetuating this thing called catch and release, and it basically says that if you're here awaiting trial, you don't have to sit in a jail where taxpayers pay $300 a day for you to stay and eat and be sheltered. You can walk amongst us and maybe get a job and contribute to the economy, which they all do, and it's a better situation for everyone.
All right, so I'm going to look up the 70% people not committed crimes that he sent on the plane.
Yes.
And I'm almost 100% sure that that may not be true.
Okay.
Whether
I'll just
I don't
bring it
know
up
where
for
you got I don't know where you got that
I'll bring
at,
it up for
but
you.
Okay. I'm still going to do my own research. I'm not going to just
Sure.
go off one of them.
And it came out that Trump knew of this recently. Explicitly knew about this. 2025 report found that 75% of the 230 Venezuelan men deported to El Salvador had no criminal record in the United States or abroad. This is
where's that
corroborated
from?
by the Texas Tribune and CBS News. The source on this is Global Detention Project.
And what's their source?
The Supreme Court ruled the Trump administration continued deporting alleged gang members to El Salvador Supermax prison, referred to by observers as human rights black hole. In March, 260 people were deported. California orchestrated, keep courts in the dark.
Yeah, but where was the source of this?
The U.S. administration claimed those deported were monsters, terrorists, gang members. Many relatives stated the deportees had no ties to gangs and no criminal record, highlighting the extreme danger of deportation without legal oversight. A U.S. district judge stated that many were in fact Venezuelans with Title VIII removal orders, with many of whom were in ICE custody awaiting asylum. They were here legally. And an investigation in 60 minutes revealed that 179 of the men had no criminal record. A 60-minute interview.
Hold on. I have a question for you. A legitimate question. 2 questions. Don't get out of that page, please, because what's the, like, who quoted this? Where'd this come from? What's the source?
This is
For this one.
globaldetentionproject.org. I'm sure I can find another one if you don't like this.
No. I want the source of this one. They at the bottom should be sources.
It's a 60-minute investigation. They investigated. Officials have failed to provide evidence that these men pose any clear or present danger to society, if they have none.
So it's someone's idea that 70% of them didn't commit crimes because they looked up the past and history here in the United States and what's not documented in El Salvador or anywhere else.
Don't have a rap sheet in the U.S. So the Trump administration is the one who responded and admitted they don't have a rap sheet.
A rap sheet in the U.S.
Yeah.
Right, but what if they have a rap sheet in El Salvador? We don't know that. You can't make a
they're
claim and
terrorists.
say
They don't-
100%.
Dude,
Go
you're literally moving the goalpost all day, every day. You can't
No,
prove they had one in El
I said
Salvador.
both countries.
You can't
If
tell me
we
they had one
settle
in El
from this
Salvador.
country to what?
Tell me where you found. Where's the evidence that they had a crime in El Salvador?
Pretty sure that they probably did a crime in El Salvador if they didn't do one here and they're in prison in El Salvador.
I don't think so.
That's my only conclusion there. Because your thought process and whoever wrote this thought process was, oh well, if they don't have a rap sheet here, why are they in prison in El Salvador?
Okay. Court
For one,
documents. Court documents don't show any of this. Court documents don't show any sort of criminal history in either country, bro. It's bullshit. You're justifying Trump kidnapping people without due process and sending them
he's
to
not
asylum.
kidnapping
Yes, he
people.
is.
I'm telling you. So
Yes,
I'm
he
gonna go
is.
back to what Tom Homan said to AOC. If you come into the country illegally across the border, you're
Okay.
still breaking the law, regardless of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can then claim asylum, yes, but you still broke the law coming into this country.
False.
You can go to. You didn't.
So what you're talking about is entry without inspection, and that is a civil matter. That's like saying you're a criminal. You ever sped before? I bet you sped today. Did you go 1 mile over speed limit today?
Nope, never did.
All right, I call bullshit.
I haven't gone anywhere today, so I can legitimately say that.
All right,
Yesterday
well,
I didn't
this
speed at
week.
all. No, because
Okay,
yesterday I didn't
we're
speed
not
at
gonna
all.
we're not gonna keep doing. I know you've gone 1
Okay.
mile over speed limit or failed
Yes,
to use
I've
a
gone
banter,
over the speed
and,
limit.
and we don't
That's
call,
not the thing,
we don't
though.
call you a criminal.
But
we don't
if
say
I
that
get
you don't
caught
get any
speeding,
rights.
I'm still gonna take the citation and pay it
Yeah, I know.
because
but,
I broke the law.
But guess what? We're not calling you an illegal person. We're not saying you lose human rights now. That's fucking dumb.
No, but the insurance company get too many speeding tickets, you lose your license. That's a privilege. It's a privilege to live in the U.S.
Okay, a privilege
you
are
wanna
not
come from
rights.
a different
Privileges are not
country-
rights.
So how's it a right for everyone that's not in this country to come to this country and be a part of this country? How is that a right for everyone in the world to invade the U.S. and say we have a right to be here?
Invade is a stretch. Invade is a stretch.
No. Okay, invade. Come to. How are we going to say that every person in the world can come to the U.S. and say we have a right to be here?
If you are claiming asylum, we
No.
literally
Every
wrote this
person.
law. We rewrote this law in 1952.
And the law sucks.
Okay,
And you know that,
You
and
can,
I know that.
you can disagree with the law all you want, but that doesn't mean you get to break it all the time. You don't get to weave around it, and you don't get to justify Trump's criminal behavior and sending people to prison for the rest of their lives because he's best buddies with an authoritarian dictator in El Salvador.
That's
Sorry.
your opinion. That's your opinion. Okay, secondly, if they cross the border illegally, you still broke the law. Is that right or wrong?
Class C misdemeanor, entry without inspection.
Okay, is that still breaking the law?
Sure.
Yes.
If
so
you're
that
seeking
still
asylum,
doesn't- if you were to
seeking
go
asylum,
to
no.
the actual border control and go in want asylum there, there's a 50% chance they'll probably let you in. Right or wrong?
I don't know what the numbers are, but if you're seeking asylum, 8 USC 1158 says that you can come through a non-port of entry and claim asylum. You don't have to go through the port. So it is not always against the law, no.
No, but if you still cross the border illegally, just because you say, "Hey, wait, I crossed the border, but I want to claim asylum," that doesn't negate the fact that you crossed the border illegally when you can just come to the border.
Now,
There's no problem with it.
Not every instance of people crossing the border at a non-port of entry is inherently illegal. That's what you keep saying, and that's wrong. What's up, Nemo?
So anybody can cross anywhere
No, if you're seeking
Anyway,
asylum,
what's
you
up?
can cross. Do you know why they did this? Do you remember 1940s Germany?
Oh, I know why they did it. Yes, yes,
Okay,
I remember why they did
so
it,
if you
and
were
I
neighbors
understand why they
if
did
you
it.
were neighbors
And I'm
with,
not disagreeing with.
hold on, if you were neighbors with
Go ahead.
Germany, and your country had people like you going, listen, these Jewish people need to use the front door. I know they're running for their lives, but they're illegal. I hate these people. They broke the law. Send them to prison. Send them back to Auschwitz. Fucking weirdo.
There was, I don't know, man. Listen, I understand in that instance, I can agree with you, but that kind of thing's not going on in El Salvador or in Mexico. If it was going on in El Salvador,
wait a
why
sec.
didn't they go to Mexico?
Wait a sec.
Go ahead. What?
Yes, it is. It's pretty bad in El Salvador, bro.
I get it's pretty bad, but you can go to Mexico.
A lot
If
of
you
them
don't
are
like
going to
El
a lot of
Salvador, you
places.
should go to
Some
the
of them
nearest
do go to
country.
Mexico, but they have the right to come here to the United States. If they're going to try to seek a truly better life, I would bet on United States before I bet on Mexico, even though Mexico's pretty dope.
Well, that's my point. Is if you're seeking asylum, you should go to the nearest country.
That's not a law.
Not
though.
to the first country that comes to mind. That's
That's not a
going to
law.
give you an abundance of problems. Like, as if, my thing is, if El Salvador is as bad as you say it is and as bad as everyone is saying it is, why not just go to the border and want asylum? That's my question.
Some of them do. Some of them come all the way here.
And I understand that, but why is not everyone doing that? That's the right way to do things.
That's not the right way. That's your favorite way. That's not the right way to do it.
No, that's not my favorite way. That's the right way.
No, it's not.
We still have a law that says you can't break the laws. And even if you do break the laws, you can't. Okay, if I was speeding, right? Got caught for speeding, but yet it was an emergency. I needed to go to the hospital. Does that negate my speeding?
It could.
No, it's up to the officer. It's still speeding. I could still get a ticket for it.
Yeah. But
it doesn't negate it.
If you were in an emergency, yeah, if you cross the border, if you cross the border, if you put one toe in the sand and scream out, "I claim asylum," like Michael Scott, you would literally be legally here. Everything that you had done previous to that was completely legal. You would not get I don't know if you would get charged with entry without inspection or not, but you were literally not an illegal person or an illegal migrant or whatever. You were an asylum seeker.
Look, if you're getting chased down by the cartel and you went to cross the border illegally, 100% agreed with that. But if you're not being chased by the cartel and you can go to a border entry, that's my whole thing.
Okay, I don't.
That's where it's at, man.
Garcia, do you know what
seriously.
Ortega Garcia's story was?
What was it?
His family was being harassed by the gangs there in El Salvador, and they tried to recruit his own brother. They harassed his mother, who had like a bakery out of their house, and they threatened to like R-word his mother and his sister, and he eventually escaped that. So that's exactly what Abrego Garcia was running from.
Yeah, but did he not join a gang when he was here, or back then, or whatever? I'm not sure.
I would love to see proof of that.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. I didn't say I had proof of it. I asked the question.
All right, no.
Okay, did he not commit crimes here in the U.S.?
No.
He didn't.
No. Which crimes did he commit?
Did his wife not say that he used to beat her?
Yeah, but that was never proven. So like we have 28 allegations against Trump. Did he commit those crimes?
No. Hold on. Trump's not an illegal immigrant. Don't move the goalpost, and that's not fair. I moved the goalpost, yes, a few times, but we're talking about an illegal immigrant here.
Okay,
what?
I believe in due process. So if you're going to hold, if
there
your
is no
standard
due
of
process
evidence
in the US.
is different for one person and the other, for the sake of this argument, you're the one who has a double standard. All right, you're saying that.
Oh no!
You're saying
I don't
that
have a double standard. I have a fucking standard. The courts in this country suck, and
Okay.
you have to agree with that. No. Okay, for example, anywhere in the U.S., if you were to me and you were walking down the street, and then 3 days later you call the cops and say that I punched you in the face, do they have to come talk to me to arrest me for that crime?
I think so.
No, they don't. All I have to do is prove that I was in the area and you were there and I was there. That's it.
Okay.
And then they can get an arrest warrant, put you
It
in
would
jail,
be-
then you have to bond out of jail and fight that crime.
Yeah, and you would probably not be convicted because there's also a law that says that you can't be convicted of a crime when it's just one person's word against the other, when there's only just one witness. There need to be more evidence. And guess what? You can't. So Brago Garcia is not automatically.
My question to that is, what is considered more evidence?
I don't know, physical evidence. Maybe your DNA on mine on
Right,
yours.
physical evidence of me walking down the street next to you, and then we go out of camera range. You say I punched you in the face, and then I have to now fight that criminal activity, even though that we both know that never happened.
Do I have a bruise?
There's no bruises.
Is it a left-handed swing?
Nope,
with
nothing.
a bruise on my left?
You did 3 days. You did 3 days later.
Then I would have no case. My word against yours. You would be scot-free.
Okay, so question, and this has happened. Should the victim then not be charged with falsifying a crime? False information to a law enforcement officer.
I guess so. I'm not sure what the stipulations are for that.
I understand. Okay, so look, you've moved up like 10 notches in my book because I feel like you're actually like, listen, I listen to you a lot, and I think you've moved up like 100 times in my book because you're actually thinking about these things that are problems in the US. And look, I don't think that really Trump's the best president. I don't think Biden's the worst president. I don't think anything like that. I think Biden's circumstances, and if there were other people running the country, should be convicted of a crime. And if Biden wasn't cognitively there, they should be convicted of that crime. Because we have amendments and we have stuff. The 28th Amendment is there for a reason. And it's not to punish anybody. But then Kamala Harris should have been president for a few weeks till Biden came back to reality. And so until that actually happens and our country actually starts doing good shit, and CNN and NBC and Fox News included in this reports on actual shit, and we actually get the right numbers from the Border Patrol and how many illegal immigrants are here, then yeah, that's my problem with the immigration problem. I don't say I don't want immigration. I want immigration, but in a better way. The courts suck about that. Congress sucks about that. All they care about is a paycheck. And I haven't seen Congress lose money in years. So in no way, shape, or form am I arguing a point that all of this is shitty, but you guys can't sit on a platform and say, hey, Trump is cognitively not here, and then not turn around and say, you know what? I was wrong when Biden was in office. He wasn't cognitively here either. And they both shouldn't be president. That's all I'm saying. And if you can think about the court system, go ahead.
Before I forget, I want to say thank you, Kristen, for the $10. Thank you. This was not a regular deportation. This was 12 minutes ago. So thank you. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, I mean that's all I'm asking is for everyone to hold every president to the same accountability.
Okay.
And when Trump starts showing to me, go ahead. What?
So only one of them is president right now.
I understand that. My only argument was everyone when Joe Biden was in office, everyone on the right, and there were some people on the left, is saying, hey, Biden's not cognitively there. Let's get him a test. Let's have some administration come out. And if Trump showed some cognitive decline, not his usual rambling in a speech, you look up speeches from 2016 or before, he says the same shit. Can we not agree on that?
No, he doesn't. Like, that's the thing is that if you compare, hold on. So if you compare what Donald Trump sounds like in 2015, 2016, like literally go and watch his debate with Hillary Clinton in 2016, and then go and listen to him talk in Qatar about trees and drones and Sean Duffy being a lumberjack.
Okay, I mean, I agree with you, but on the same hand, like, I just haven't seen the cognitive decline like I've seen with Biden yet. And that's my opinion. And the opinions can be different from each person, but you guys should have called Biden out on the same thing. I got Biden's not president right now, Biden's not doing anything right now, but he was still the former president. And there's people coming out, and the investigation is still early on. But there was people that were not running our country, or were running our country, that were not elected to office. Regardless if you say, well, Biden had the oversight, maybe he didn't. Maybe they were doing it behind his back.
Listen, I still stand 10 toes down on the fact that whoever was running the country, I think it was Biden 100%. Whoever was running the country did a fantastic job with the economy, with diplomacy, with all of it. So for you to have complaints,
Then vote for Jill Biden. That's my opinion. It's just a joke. I get it. I appreciate your guys' time. But just know that not everyone that is a Trump supporter is against everything and for everything Trump does. But just like the big, beautiful bill, there's things in it that I agree with, and there's things in it that I don't agree with. And
what are things that you don't agree with? Just one or two.
The tax. All the taxes in it. Pretty much all the taxes in it, which is pretty much the whole bill.
All right. Well, I've had you up for about 50 minutes. Do you want to say one more thing before I let you go?
You're good, bud. No, you guys, thanks for your time.
Anytime. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right. See you. Bye.
Yo. That was a good concession. That's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I didn't want to. It felt like you were trying to move on, so I didn't want to keep digging.
Yeah. Wow, chat, don't forget to give me a follow if you enjoy these debates. We have 1,000 people on TikTok right now. Big shout out to my dude for the raid. Tommy, love you. Thank you so much, bro. We're going to go to the next guest. Guys, if you're friendly, please hop out of the box. And if you haven't done so already, give Nemo a follow. He, like me, has a few alt accounts too, so be sure to give him a follow. He's one of TikTok's brightest. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I just have one thing to say. No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I just have one thing to say. Does people realize? I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna leave it alone. People don't realize is that Trump's mother seeked asylum when she came in 1930.
Is that true?
Yes, look it up. She escaped Germany.
Wait, say that again.
Trump's mother seeked asylum when she came to America.
This says there's no evidence that that's true. She immigrated to the United States from Scotland. She she obtained a U.S. re-entry permit. She became a naturalized citizen.
Yeah, Trump's grandfather had it was a weird situation with his grandfather. Like there was a back and forth situation going on. He was basically at the end of it, he was exiled from Germany because he didn't want to be drafted or whatever, and I guess he got kicked out and sent to America. I don't know really the details of that, but that's essentially how it worked.
You know what? I'm gonna go with someone in chat. I've heard enough. Straight to jail for Trump. Deportation, no due process.
Fair point.
Enough. Thank you, Snake. I've heard enough. Trump's grandma once worked on a Sunday. Straight to jail. Straight to jail. Guys, we're a Christian country. Haven't you heard? Straight to jail. Guys, we're trying to bring our next guests up. They're not loading. Give us just a second. Let's see if we can get to like 100K likes. We've got 1,000 people in here. I dare you guys. Tap the screen. Chat, what do y'all think about Elon Musk? Trumpers, I want to hear what y'all think. What do you think about Elon Musk having beef with the big, beautiful bill? You guys took his word as sermon, or as, what do they say, scripture? What's
Gospel.
Gospel, thank you. You took his word as gospel. He was the savior. He was the numbers guy. And now Elon has grievances with the numbers? Thoughts? The black eye. I don't know. That's TMZ gossip right there. I don't care. I mean, he deserves all the black eyes to me, if you ask me. Yellow? Notification? Someone's fucking jamming out, dude. That guest gave me a headache. Chat, you guys are always welcome to pay to kick. We have a pay to kick thing here. And it's $40, but that's because I don't like people paying to kick every one of my guests. We have it a little bit pricier than the norm. But if you guys are trying to get someone kicked, that's how you do it. I need to fix my OBS scenes. Damn, nobody's getting accepted. Kick tariffs, yeah. Is there a kick pool? I need to make a kick pool. It's hard to do in the moment. I'm really bad at multitasking. So tracking like a kick pool while I'm debating, I will fuck that up. I'm pretty sure I'll fuck that up. There we go. Okay. Boom. We might mod job. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Yellow?
Hello?
How old are you?
21.
What's your birthday?
January 23rd, 2004.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I like his policies on abortion.
Do we have a female guest that want to come up? Guys, I don't know. You sound really young. Can you give me a reason why you might sound young?
It's because I just got my wisdom teeth put out a couple weeks ago, so my voice just might sound like a little weird. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So where specifically lies your issues with abortion? Is it religious?
My issue, partly, not mostly religious. I just believe that it's not justified that a woman, that if they don't like their baby, that they can just get it out of the system and just abort it. I think we have a lot of stuff available in America, like foster care, abortion.
Yeah, like there's lots of different options.
Adoption.
So you believe like abortion shouldn't be used as a form of birth control?
Yeah, kind of.
So what in the case of, what if it's detrimental to the life of the mother? Like what if she has preeclampsia and they say this baby needs to come out or both will die?
So they can do a C-section?
Yeah, but what if it's before viability? Yeah, but what if it's before viability?
That is the only time that I think abortion should be legal. But all the other times, unless there's a medical reason where both the mother's life and the baby's life are both in danger, that is the only time that I think an abortion should be legal. But all other times, I don't think that it should be allowed.
Okay. So what if, say, my autistic 8-year-old got pregnant by somebody?
Well, I think you should go through with the baby.
An 8-year-old who has no idea what's
Yep.
going on? Yeah.
Well, do you think that that situation is a bad thing?
Do I think an 8-year-old being R-worded would be a bad thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, because
Especially
I
one that
believe
is not fully aware of their surroundings. Yeah.
Well, I believe that we should always do good in the face of evil. So while that may be a bad situation, yes, and that does not deserve to happen to any young person, I think that they should go through with the baby. And if they're not yet ready to raise it, that's why I mentioned before, there's things like foster care, adoption,
Totally.
so people that want
Yeah.
the baby but
But
can't.
what about the trauma to the 8-year-old? Because they didn't ask for that, right? It's not like where you're saying, like, you know, a 20-something-year-old going out and partying, blah, blah, like you're trying to have a moral issue with this, that, like, but if it's not that person's fault and it's going to be traumatic and life-changing trauma for them. So you're saying,
Well,
like, that fetus or embryo's life is more important than the 8-year-old's life, right?
well, it's still a human.
Well, it's not, though. Like, it's not.
Do you know
It's
when
not.
brainwaves begin?
Do I know when what?
Brainwaves begin?
Yes. 14
So
weeks.
so the
The very
fetus knows it's
basic.
alive.
No, you would say that would be maybe closer to 20 weeks.
Are you sure?
Yep. The brainwaves of a smooth-brained embryo, it'd be about 10 weeks, 10, 11 weeks.
Guess, do you have camera access? I'm really skeptical about your age.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just
for
don't
somebody
like
that is
showing
a
myself.
female, I think that you don't seem to have a lot of knowledge or empathy towards what would happen to a young child.
Well,
Which makes me think that
can
you're
I,
quite
can
young.
I
which
just
is
give a little?
very-
Can I just give a little backstory?
I would love that.
So, I had a sister who was 14 at the time, I think, and she was, I don't want to say, SA'd, and she actually gave juice to the baby, and she's a very proud mother, and the child now, she knows that she was born because of that, but I think my sister says it's the best thing that's ever happened to her, that children was the best gift that she's ever gotten in her whole life.
It's anecdotal.
And that's beautiful because
Yeah.
that was her choice.
It's anecdotal. There's a lot of people who would say that's probably the most traumatic part of their life too. It doesn't really mean anything.
But it also was their choice to keep that and to continue that and to see that through to the other side, right? And so you're glad that they were given that choice. And that's the whole point of choice. I think a lot of time when people say that they're pro-life, they don't actually even know what that means. Because you've already said things that say that you're not pro-life in the staunch definition of it. You're pro-choice with caveats.
So can you define what pro-life is to you?
By any means necessary, like the dead corpse right now, or the corpse right now that is currently incubating a baby in the States somewhere. That's pro-life.
And that patient doesn't have brainwaves.
Yeah, it's a corpse. Necromancy, really. You want to, and you're speaking to someone that has 4 children, and I've known about 2 of them when they were the size of a poppy seed, and so that did grow into a baby. But at the time I went, oh, this is a poppy seed that maybe one day could be, if everything turns out this way. So I'm not a cold or indifferent person, but there is many, many, many instances that is just not reasonable.
I would also add that while your sister or somebody of the likes might go through with that, I would say that that's their choice, like she said, and I would say it's ongoing consent. That's my big caveat with pregnancy, is that you are giving your resources in your body to another another entity, a fetus. And for you to share your resources and for you to carry that person on your back or in your
Mhm.
belly for 9 months should be your choice. It shouldn't be the government's choice. It shouldn't be some
Yeah.
9-year-old's choice.
Yeah. And one might even say that at 14, that is, I mean, it's hard to even make that decision for yourself when you are not even fully aware of the outcomes of what that means.
Right, but nonetheless, I still think that. Well, I just want to ask: are you glad that your parents didn't abort you?
Am I glad? Actually, it's my birth mother had 7 children in 8 years and put us all up individually for adoption. Am I glad? I am glad for myself. I would say 60% of my siblings are not glad. And I would say that my birth mother is very not glad that she did not think that abortion was a choice, if you were to ask her, because it was very destructive towards her life and mental health for the rest of her life.
I'm also glad my mother, she had an abortion when she was, oh, they're gone. Okay, all right. My mods removed them. I that
She
person,
said her birthday really quickly. She said,
yeah, I mean, you also never know if somebody just has a condition that makes them sound young. And I don't want to be like ableist or something. I don't know what that would be considered.
True. Voicist? You're really voicist.
Yeah.
I've heard Pickles is super voicist.
I'm a voicist.
Anyways,
Yeah,
I just like to
never.
Go ahead.
They never stated their gender. The more that I listened to them, I'm starting to think that was a teenage boy, like a very young teenage boy. That was my guess.
I don't know. I mean, I did refer to her as, I referred to them as a woman who was able to carry a baby at one point, and they didn't change.
My
yeah.
mistake.
Like, because I said, like, as a girl or as a woman, you should understand what that would do for an 8-year-old girl if they were forced to do that, emotionally and physically. And they didn't question me on that. But I mean, the thing, it's scary to think of how uneducated. Anyways, I came on because I really like to point out to people who say that they're pro-life that they're not actually pro-life, because they think that pro-choice means that we're like, yeehaw, everyone line up. It's great. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. Some people are, but some people are like, it's just a fact. It's just a medical thing that happens.
Thank you so much for coming up. And 1-2 ICU. Is this the first time you coming up? You're doctor?
I am a doctor. I came in because of what the guest had said about brainwaves, and it drove me crazy. So
okay.
I'm glad your other guest refuted it because it made sense. Okay. I'm a physician. I've been doing it for about 25 years, and
Okay. Well, thank you all.
I'm not here to debate you, in other words, but I wanted to support the concept that this person was making a comment that brainwaves infer that something is alive. Meanwhile, you can measure electrical activity from a plant. Does that mean we shouldn't be vegan?
Yeah.
We can measure brainwaves from a fish or a shrimp. Does that mean we shouldn't eat them? And I realize that the nature of looking at things in a human, whether they are a pre-vitality neonate or they're in the fetal state, whether or not that's true, their ability to measure whether a being or an entity is self-aware is zero in even a baby. We don't know that babies are self-aware. We know that babies can feel pain after they're born, but when they're inside gestating, we don't know. There is evidence about when it occurs that something can start feeling pain, and it's not correlated with brain waves. It's also not correlated with viability. So a baby that is destined to die because of, holencephaly or some horrible disorder can still feel pain. So it's just interesting that and I agree with your other guest that the concept of pro-life and the concept of pro-birth both are antithetical to what really this is all about. And as a cisgender white male, I should have nothing to say about this other than it's her choice or it's their choice. Whoever has a uterus gets to choose what to do with it.
Agreed. I agree. I appreciate you. And you guys are welcome back anytime to help me out with this topic. Yeah, I don't like to speak on behalf of women. I think I say this all the time. I think it's dystopian for two men to stand on a podium and talk about whether or not women should have rights. I think it's completely horrible.
Can I add a comment to that though?
Sure.
I think the other side of it is that as cisgender white male, and I'm part of the LGBT community, so happy Pride, but as part of that community, but also part of the cisgender white male community, we are the ones that have the privilege and the influence out there. So we need to make sure that the people who have taken advantage of theirs listen. And it's not only our responsibility to make sure they listen, it's our responsibility to stand by women and be not just feminist, but womanist and supportive and do whatever we can to help, as long as we listen to what they're asking for and what they're saying.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, ICU. Say something in the chat and I'll give you a follow.
Excellent. Thank you.
Happy Pride.
All right, guys. Happy Pride. Happy Pride, by the way. Yeah. And thank you both.
Okay. Bye.
All right,
I followed you too, Nemo.
WICU,
I gave you a follow too.
Sparrows.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Chat. We're gonna move on to the next guest. I'm gonna give y'all a boot. We're gonna move on to the next guest. If you're a Trump supporter, if you're a MAGA and you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. It is 5 o'clock. How are we doing? $5.20. We have Artemis in the box. Hello?
Oh, hi. Oh, I was tapping. I'm not a Trump supporter. I am a grape survivor. But I'm not a Trump supporter. Very much the opposite. I think what Trump has done has genuinely caused so many issues for women in America. He is a rapist. He is a 34 count felon. He is not for women. He does not protect women. And anyone out there who says Trump is protecting women, you're delusional. And I say that 10 toes down. If I don't know, there's something that I've been trying to draw awareness to, and I'm very fortunate that this little accident actually gives me a chance to. Recently in 2025, there was a video game that came out. It's called No Mercy. This video game is a VR video game about grape. You, as the main character, can grape any woman that is in the game, including your own mother. It only just recently got taken down off of Steam in America. It's still available worldwide, and 2.8 million downloads took place in America. So I dare any MAGA to say that you're safe under Trump. It's safe here in America. No, the things you experience are not that bad. No man wants to do that. I'm sorry, tell that to 2.8 million who downloaded the game. Tell that to my rapist. All of them. And the concept of pro-life is hilarious, because what about my life? Does my life not matter? My life as the woman, as the mother. Pregnancy is a life-threatening condition. And I, as someone who's been in the medical field 16 years, and I have 3 kids, I have experienced what it's like. I have experienced what it is like to have a high-risk pregnancy and to have those conversations with my husband about whose life to choose. If it comes down to it, this is not something we do like it's a Saturday night fiesta. This isn't something we do for fun. Having these conversations, having to decide what we're going to do, who survives, these are real things and they are not easy. And to treat women like we're cars and to say, well, her value depreciates with this, that, the third, screw you to the highest extent. Go to hell and then go further down, because that is where you deserve to be. And if you are pro-life, then you care about me. You care about the 10-year-old who said no and wasn't listened to. You care about the women that wanted the pregnancy and cannot continue it because they are going to pass away. If you don't care about us, you are pro-forced birth. And again, I tell you, go straight to hell and you stay there. Thank you, Pickles. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to hear hear about that, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Dude, somebody in YouTube chat keeps saying that I carry pizza vertically, and fuck you.
They carry pizza vertically?
Yeah. Just call me dumb.
I mean, there's video proof of Donald Trump eating pizza backwards. I'll find it. It was a Pizza Hut commercial back in like the 90s.
Please stop making videos. Gives me fuel, guys. Gives me fuel to see Trumpers uncomfortable with my videos. Chat, tap the screen. Let's get some more guests in here. Oh, shit.
Found it.
Got receipts.
1995.
That pizza the wrong way. Crust first. Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first. May I have the last slice? Actually, you're only entitled to half.
Wow.
It's un-American. Is there a number? Not yet. My guest won't be able to debate YouTube callers, so we're gonna try to get away with not doing YouTube callers until I'm alone. I eat corn vertically. What if I do? What if I do? Guys, we're looking for our next guest. I'm so sorry. Hello. Angie? I think they're here on accident. Yeah, we're looking for Trump supporters. If you want to debate, hop in the box. Come tell me why you like Trump. Until then, I don't know. Until then, you guys should go follow me on YouTube. If you guys want to see, a bunch of Trumpers talking smack, you can go to YouTube. Look at the chat. Hello, Jackster. Are you a Trump supporter?
Okay. All right. I love you. Bye. My bad. My wife was here. Yeah.
What do you like about Trump?
A lot. But I will tell you this, though. When I was like 19 years old, I think I was like 19, 20. You remember when Trump first got elected president? Like his first term?
Mm-hmm.
Set a time on your phone for 12 minutes.
Okay. First term, right? Well, when I was 19 at the time, I didn't really know anything about it, and I used to sit around and say, like F Donald Trump, he's a racist and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But as I grew up, I realized I was the dumb one. And I've noticed a lot of these people that are against Trump are in that same age range. So I just feel like people got a lot of growing up to do before they can really,
Yeah, I don't think it's a maturity thing.
How old am
I?
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
How old are you?
36.
Yeah, you're older than me. But that's bad on your part, though. Because I'm 29.
I think that you're vaguely like attributing being a Trump supporter as to being like a maturity thing is kind of wild. What I would say is that like 99.999% of all people I talk to that like Trump don't really know why they like Trump. Also, don't really know anything about politics or legislation or policy. They're just kind of in it for the vibe. They're usually have huge character flaws. They like whatever makes liberals uncomfortable. They think Trump is a great person of character. Like all of these things that are, I think, completely off.
Yeah, there's things Trump's done in the past that I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean I don't support him as a candidate.
Okay,
Like,
so what do you like about Trump, besides your own lived experience about not liking him and then liking him?
Thank you. There's pizza in the oven for now.
all right. I like Trump because of what he's doing.
Hello?
I think it's Bluetooth connected to a car. I think his wife probably turned on the car just now.
Yeah.
Bluetooth connected.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, so what did Biden do for you?
Biden passed the most legislation out of any
What
president
did it
in
do
like
for you?
decades.
Yeah, it passed a bunch of legislation. He could have passed anything. He could have literally passed.
The
He could
man,
have
the
passed
legend,
that we
super
gotta
chatted
accept the
$5.
fact that
To be
this
young
guy
and
is
liberal
the
is
red
to have a
guy.
heart. To be old and conservative is to have a brain. You blocked my last one. Bad faith, bro.
Bro. Thank you for the super chat.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I ask you something now? Why do you sit on TikTok and expect people to get on here that are smart? Who uses TikTok? Stupid people. So the stupid part
says
of
who?
Republicans are the only reason people get on TikTok. The only reason smart people are now getting on TikTok is to debate y'all. There's Republicans, there's dumb Republicans, there's smart Republicans, there's clueless Republicans. But
all right,
you get what I'm saying?
I would love to finally.
Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you, bitch! Fuck you, bitch!
Is he talking to his wife again?
I don't even know who Trump is.
Is your wife with you again, or?
The man, the legend, super chatted $2. You're welcome. Sorry for the interruption.
So about that smart Republican thing.
Someone goes, "Are these staged, guys?" These are not staged. These are not staged. I know that would be real ideal for Trump supporters, but they're not. Hello? EMAC? EMAC, is that a picture of Trump in your profile? Okay. Hello? Is this a Trump supporter?
I'm just I'm just a viewer, but I have a question. Do you like Elon now since he hates the big bill?
No.
I thought y'all would be like, oh, dude, we love the electronic cars now, dude. Elon's back, baby.
We
He
like
hates
electronic
Trump now.
vehicles, but we don't. I'm not a fan of Tesla anymore. I'm not a fan of Elon.
Yeah. I just figured since he's on the way back to that side, I figured y'all would be.
Wait, he's
happy
on
about
our
it.
side now that he doesn't like the big beautiful bill?
I feel like it's a shift. Maybe he might be going over there. next
Are
election,
you
he
sure he's
might
not
run.
just having his own opinions and still being conservative?
I don't know. Is he? I don't follow him. I just saw that he ranted about the bill.
He's still very much conservative, and
Oh.
I think it's just like a tribal thing. I think it's this is why we say like there's a cult on that side. Anybody who steps out of line and criticizes Trump is
I
all
mean,
of
I
a
just saw a
sudden
lot of people
exiled.
like hyping him up under his tweets on X. They're just like, about time you realize da 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 da. And people just, I don't know. I just read a lot, so people just like, good to have you back, comrade. Stuff like that. I was just wondering if you're one of those.
I think you're an absolute idiot if you just welcome Elon back all of a sudden just because of
I mean,
his...
I didn't like him once he started like when Trump won, he was going crazy against Americans, talking about we need all the H1 workers. Americans don't know how to do jobs.
H1B1?
Yeah, he was
Didn't
like
Trump
going wolf
also
with that.
come out and say he's for H1B1 visas?
Yeah, I think so. He did in the
Okay,
past.
so do you still like Trump?
I didn't vote for Trump. I told you that. I was just wondering about Elon, man.
All right.
I don't care. I mean, I was just wondering about that because he's like a big figure. I remember like a month ago, everybody's like, Elon's the president, and now Elon hates what Trump's
The man,
doing.
the legend, super chatted $2. Do kids have a right to a
I
mom
think the
and
difference
dad?
between liberals and conservatives is that liberals champion policy and conservatives champion people.
People. Yeah, I mean, you could be right in a way. Dems haven't really had a person since Obama to really champion, in my opinion. He was cool. I liked Obama.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't really like need a leader. We're free thinkers.
I think we do. I don't think Trump's a very good one. I think we do need somebody that's personable and can speak.
Sure, I think we need somebody that's electable, but like we don't need somebody to tell us what our ideology is.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying somebody that can speak to everybody.
And that's what I'm illustrating to you is I think conservatives, they need someone to tell them what their ideology is on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, I think since MAGA, the MAGA movement, yeah, you're probably right in that sense. But I think if Trump is gone in 2028, everybody has like a lot to work to do to like try to figure out what the future for America is. Because right now it's in a shithole. Like you got MAGA, then you got everybody just hates MAGA. So like at the end of it, Trump's gonna be gone and he's gonna go play golf, and we have to figure out what the fuck we're gonna do. So I think it's really important for both sides to like kind of figure out where you're gonna go after this instead of. I don't know because
we know what we want. Yeah, it's just a matter of who's going to step up. Pete Buttigieg would be super ideal. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with
I like
Governor
the
of
Gretchen
California.
lady.
I like Newsom.
I like Gretchen. I like
Gretchen
Shapiro.
Whitmer.
Yeah.
Shapiro's fine.
I like Shapiro and Gretchen.
I think Shapiro would be a little problematic considering.
Well, the stuff that they were already bringing up when they were thinking about getting him as VP is kind of sketchy. But
yeah,
he's a really good speaker, and I feel like he talks to most Americans when he speaks.
Andy Bashir is fucking awesome. I love Andy Bashir. Pete Buttigieg. There's a lot of people. But
I just think you can't go with Newsom and you can't run Kamala again.
Yeah, I get that. Pete Buttigieg.
I think if Gretchen were to run, I'd probably vote for her, to be honest. And I haven't voted since Obama.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That's me. If it was Gretchen and maybe Shapiro as the VP, I'd roll with that. Like, I was big on Shapiro being the VP this year, and when they picked Walz, I was just like, I don't know if I can do it, guys.
I love Walz.
He just seems so fake to me. Just Walz? I could. Yes, Walz.
I feel like Walz is like the opposite of that. Like him
and Vance just both to me
James
just seem like
super chatted $2. Pickles, do you know what party the KKK come from?
All right, James, thank you for the $2. The Conservative Party, Dixiecrats. The people, if you look for that party who flies the Dixiecrat flag, you will see them at Trump rallies.
I mean, Walz could be genuine. He just came off as a goofball.
Yeah, exactly. And that part is fair. Like he does have like kind of.
I mean, I believe when he speaks, he means it, but he was a cornball.
Yeah,
it's goofy.
I mean, it's kind of like he reminded me a bit of Bernie in that but awkward
like
kind of vibe.
I feel like
it
Bernie
worked more for Bernie just because he was, I don't know.
So I was big on Bernie in 2016, and I really got discouraged when the DNC did him like that. I don't know if y'all have any opinions on that. Like when he pretty much was going to beat Hillary, in my opinion, and then they had a bunch of super PACs or something like that pretty much took it away.
No,
I don't know.
No, he was never gonna beat Hillary. Like, to be clear, I was a Bernie supporter in 2016. Loved the dude. He was never gonna beat Hillary. Now we could talk about super delegates and that process. Super PACs, that's something completely different. It's related to what it was.
Yeah, I was just
But
big on it.
even if you were to account for like the superdelegates, even if you were to control for that, he still would not have won the 2016 primary. And so,
I just felt like his movement was big. It was for the people, in my opinion. I really felt like
it was in 2020 also. And I donated to his campaign in 2020.
Yeah.
I loved the dude.
I had the little
right?
stuffed
And he
animal
still
and everything.
lost.
Yeah, that's brutal. His meme where he's sitting in the chair.
Oh, I literally have a bobblehead of that. Like, hold up.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I remember when that released. Yeah, I have the stuffed animal one. Alrighty, well, yeah, I think we'd have a lot, like, just America in general.
The
like,
man,
it's
the
too
legend,
divided.
super chatted $5.
Like I said, if Gretchen runs,
I'm
I think
sorry to
she's
interrupt,
enough, like,
fellas,
center
but
and
the
left
Democrat
that, like,
Party
she could get
started
the
the
ones that are
KKK.
probably
Christian
discouraged by Trump
abolitionists
right now
started
on
the
her side,
Republican
in my
Party
opinion.
to end it. Google it.
But alrighty, man. Thank y'all for talking to me. Let me speak. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right, later.
Oh shit! I kicked ICU. ICU. You can come back. I'm sorry, dude. Dude, I'm so impressed by the Republicans that think that the Triple K movement was a liberal ideology. So like, the people who used the Bible, Christianity, to remember they were burning the crucifix, all of those things. They were doing that as conservatives. That's who did it. Conservative ideology. That's what brought us the Triple K. Then there was a party switch. You guys aren't aware of that? You can go Google that and watch a few YouTube videos on it. It's a real thing. It's crazy to see people deny that in its entirety. It's actually wild, dude.
I mean, genuinely, like, are you telling me that the Triple K, everybody knows what the Triple K is and what they stand for, right? It's a bunch of pissed off rednecks that have, bed sheets and little eye holes cutting, and they all hang
Free
out
men
in the
die
woods at
free,
night,
super chatted
lighting crosses.
$5. You guys
And,
haven't even
they
begun
got
to
14
explore the
specific
depth of
words
US
that they love to
politics.
say and all that
Good
stuff.
luck against
Right.
well-read Mises
So-
libertarians in a debate.
Are you telling me that the Triple K would vote for the party that put a black man in the White House? Because that's insane. That's insane.
The Triple K votes for the Republicans right now. They stand next to you guys in Trump rallies. For you
And they
guys
raise
to push
their
that on
arms
us
up
is
and
wild.
Exactly.
They stand next to y'all. And for anybody to be a self-proclaimed libertarian, I beg you, come please debate me. Please come tell me how in the actual fuck you would support Trump. Libertarians are for open borders. They're for free trade. That's two huge strikes against Trump. What else could you possibly like about Trump? Please come tell me.
Yeah, they're for deregulation. Donald Trump at least pretends to be for deregulation, but that little thing with Palantir that we just learned, it sounds like big government.
I bet libertarians love Palantir.
It gives them everything they want. They want money. They want knowledge for themselves. But what Trump wants is money and knowledge, money and stuff for himself.
Ginger
All he
super
wants
chatted
to
$1.99.
extend his CV. He
Confederate
wants to extend his
veterans
resume
started
and
the KKK.
show what he's done. Meanwhile, the person that was asking before about what was happening, what kind of legislation passed under Biden, do they not know what was under the Biden administration? Inflation Reduction Act, bipartisan infrastructure laws, CHIPS, PACT, the American Rescue Plan, not to mention respect for marriage.
None of them know any of it. I do this all the time. I quiz them and say, hey, can you just name one thing that Biden passed? They go, no, he didn't do a damn thing. And they just get belligerent. They don't know anything. They don't know anything of Trump.
How about veterans benefits? When widows got full benefits, widows and widowers, all that stuff made it better.
Yeah. They only know the surface level stuff they see on TV or what Trump Truth socials. That's mostly what they know. They don't know much else.
And the reductionist version of it, because they'll only pick out the things that are going to benefit or that look like they're going to benefit folks. And look at the KKK's influence in elections over the last 175 years, 180, 130 years, whatever number. I think they're, 160 years they've been around, something like that.
Yeah. I wonder who is championing this anti-DEI rhetoric. I wonder who's doing that. Anybody being against diversity, equity, inclusion? What's the opposite of those three things?
White supremacy. Male white supremacy. It's interesting that there are women out there who also follow this and don't realize that these groups don't believe that they are equals to them either.
Someone in the chat mentioned that the owner of Palantir is a libertarian. Now they're talking about Peter Thiel. The thing with Peter Thiel is that, like, he claims to be a libertarian. Homeboy is what's referred to as a techno-fascist or a techno-feudalist or a technocrat. Like, you can say there's all sorts of labels for it. Homeboy is literally the reason that J.D. Vance is the vice president, and he's a Republican mega donor. So claiming that he's a libertarian,
And then what about Alex Karp?
Yep.
One of the Times most influential person, right? Or one of them.
I need to look that up, because now I'm curious. Was it him or was it Yarvin?
It's Yarvin. Yeah. Hire people based on merit. Hires nobody based on merit in his administration. Hires Fox News anchors.
Look at the most public person. Look at what's her name, conservative Barbie. She's a rhetoric spiller. That's all she does, and she's not bad at it. She doesn't know what she's saying. All it is Trump, Trump, Trump. He must have something on her. And by the way, the comment about Ilana that gentleman made before, the thing about Elon Musk is his homage, his dedication to the Trump presidency allowed him access to all the materials in the efficiency office and all access to everything. He got it now. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's going to get. And as he's gotten it, now he doesn't give a shit anymore because he's going to get himself off and not be worried about anything. And all the stuff that he was concerned about his own dirt is all gone. Yep, Palantir gave $1 million to Make America Great Again, MAGA Inc., Republican National Committee, and interestingly gave $125,000 to congressional campaign committees.
Free Men Die Free super chatted $5. Palantir is a CIA/Five Eyes operation. In-Q-Tel helps fund it, which is a CIA hedge fund. As a libertarian, no legitimate libertarian endorses it.
Intel, dude, did you not just hear? It's a Peter Thiel thing. The guy who pretty much owns JD Vance. It's his baby.
Yep.
JD
So
Vance.
Peter Thiel is like,
boy.
Well, he's the investor, isn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the founders. So Peter Thiel,
he's a libertarian.
He claims to be a libertarian, right? Like Peter Thiel claims to be a libertarian.
He's a fascist.
Exactly. Like it's one of those things where he's the meme of a libertarian, right? Which is they're just a Republican who wants to not pay taxes and consume certain things, but he is also just like straight up a fascist. That's what he is. I was reading about Peter Thiel. Turns out, I thought he was born in South Africa. He was not. He was born in Frankfurt in Germany. Fun fact about Peter Thiel, and you can go and read this. I like reading it. It's not that long, because it really is just something. So okay, so the Thiel family lived in South Africa and Southwest Africa, which is modern day Namibia. Peter changed elementary schools 7 times. He attended a German language school in Swakopmund that required students to wear uniforms and utilize corporal punishment, such as striking students' hands with a ruler. He said this experience instilled a distaste for uniformity and regimentation, later reflected in his support for individualism and libertarianism. The German community in Swakopmund that Thiel grew up in was known at the time for its continued glorification of Nazism.
That's terrifying. Wow.
Yep. And remember, all you folks out there who use PayPal, he also founded it.
Elon was able to. Phil, thank you for the $1. Elon was able to erode investigations into his company, dismantle and diminish his competition, and extract data, which could include
all the dirt on him.
Competitive advantages for him to win and work in with all the areas he dismantled. It's sad. PayPal owns Venmo now too.
Yeah, and PayPal owns, what is it, Venmo? Oh God, they own another one too.
Do they own another one?
Stripe or something?
Oh, because eBay acquired them, spun them off.
Do they own Cash App? No way.
No. Cash App's owned by is it Square?
Yeah, they're too close to competitors for them to not to be the exact same thing.
Yeah, Zoom, XOOM, iZettle, Venmo, all these other pay companies.
And Honey, that was the other one. It's not Honey isn't like a payment thing, but that's like the coupon thing.
Yeah.
But what does that give you? You follow, you own Honey. You can follow anybody.
I wanna slim deck down to one panelist.
I can.
All right, I appreciate you. I don't know if you don't watch me a lot. I usually try to keep as many friendlies up here as possible to be more inviting to debates. So I don't want people probably don't want to come debate and get dogpiled.
Feel free to when you friend me, just remember me, because if you need any physician or I've been doing research for 30 years as well. So anything I can do science wise, let me know.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much. Guys, if we don't get any debates here soon, I might take a tiny break and then come back.
If you want me to hop down, okay. It's cool.
I might turn on the phone line so we can do phone line debates. There's a lot of people talking about Cory Booker's Yahtzee salute. And what I would say is the hand gesture, the arm, there's a huge difference. And for you guys to conflate it is a huge reach. It's a real big cope. If you disagree, hop on it.
Was this like a recent thing?
Yeah. Yellow.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I don't want to waste your time. I don't really support Trump, but I had a question for you guys, just to see is there something. It just appears that MAGA supporters, whatever fact you give to them, is just they will never accept anything. So I just wanted to see if you guys have had any success with any specific term that you guys, something that you guys have said that caught people's attention. They have, kind of recent, because it just seems that MAGA supporters will not accept anything.
I think it's a deconstruction thing. It's a slow thing. I think people need to see and hear these conversations for a while before they start making decisions on their own to move away from it. I think that a lot of the people don't really have arguments against what we have to say about Trump. They more or less have emotional reactions, and I think it's just a slow process.
Yeah, I agree. I've tried the slow process with. I even have friends that support him, and it's never worked. It's kind of insane how they just say, "Oh, Trump was kidding about this," just some crazy racist stuff, and I just never have success with them, and it's kind of tiresome to always be debating them.
Yeah, there's no silver bullet for it. That's for sure. There's no silver bullet.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking my my call, and I hope you guys have success with discovering this and making people realize about this guy.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Thank you.
Wait.
Mike, are you a Trump supporter? Mike?
Can you read?
Can I read?
Did you?
Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here, Britt. Yeah, I'm here, yes.
Are you a Trump supporter?
What did I say? What did I write?
My chat's moving real fast. Are you a Trump supporter? What are you doing
Yes,
there,
he
guy?
is. Yeah, he said nothing to debate. The people have voted. Debate is dead. Trump MAGA baby. Okay. Yeah, he's a Trump supporter.
Do you mind taking the music off? I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna mute you while you turn that music off. I'm gonna get flagged on YouTube for that. Have a. Someone keeps saying, guys, I don't know. You're welcome to come back, Mike. We'll try someone else. You get that sorted out. His reposts are insane. Okay. Yellow.
Hi, hello.
Hey, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I just had a response to a question that was asked. I have COVID. I'm so sick, but I figured I would just respond.
All right, guys, if you're friendly, please do not hop in the box. We're hemorrhaging views because a bunch of friendlies came back to back. So we're trying to do only opposition. Peter, are you there? This is weird. He's like in limbo. Yellow. Stu?
Hey, what's up?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
I was. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Nope. No, I was calling for Trump big time in, back in 07, 08, 09. I read his books, heck, when I was in high school. And he was a mentor. I've been in business and entrepreneur stuff all my life. And
All right. Oh, chat, we love you. If you're friendly, please don't come up. Again, we've had back-to-back friendlies, and we're kind of dipping in viewership. So we're looking for debates only right now, opposition only. Killing me, Smalls. Where are the Trumpers? Where are the Trumpers? We got 800 people almost here on TikTok. If you're a Trump supporter, hop in the box. Shouldn't be that hard to debate a little old soy boy like me.
I looked up the clip of Cory Booker. They're really trying to say, oh my God.
Yeah. There's the one thing I'll say is the R movement is like for Elon, it's like a strike, like a full extension. There's no like subtle wave. It's like a full like a strike into the air. And that's what makes the salute. That's what makes the howl. Cory Booker's not doing that. Cory Booker's not doing for him to. Elon Musk is so desperate to walk back or undo the damage and harm he's done with that. Yet he's not come out and said he is not doing the salute. He has never come out and said that still. He has not come out and condemned Yazidism. He's not done anything like that, which is super fucking weird. He could at least do that.
Right? I mean, like, one of the most damning things was, so Charlie Kirk was asked to his face when the whole Elon thing was still circulating, and he was on, he went to some, I don't know, university. I don't know who said or who asked him, but he was like, "Oh yeah, no, Elon definitely didn't do the salute." And then the person said, "Oh, okay, cool. Do it." And Charlie Kirk, he did it by like putting his hand over his heart and then being like, "And that's why my heart goes out to," like, his hand was not in the same position. Everything was completely different. And he did it like 2 or 3 times, being, willfully disingenuous. That does remind me though. Did you see the Cambridge stuff?
Oh yeah.
Or was it Cambridge?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That one chick Tilly destroyed him. Have you followed her on TikTok?
Yes.
She is so smart.
Oh
she
yeah.
is so intelligent.
Yeah. The two that really stood out for me, it was her and it was the redheaded dude.
Yeah, I followed him too on TikTok.
What's his name? Because I need to find him.
I already forgot. He only had 40,000 followers when I followed him. I'll have to find him again.
Oh. That's cool. I'm sure someone in chat probably knows. But yeah, like, he definitely gave the vibe of like somebody in British Parliament. Like, I see that future for him. He has like the same delivery, the same demeanor, everything.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah, he's cool. Mystica, especially getting fried with a British accent, it just hurts that much more. It's got to sting.
Yeah. It's like it's a little buff. It's a little buff to any American ear, where it's like, they already sound smarter than you, and they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know anything about Tilly until that clip, and then I saw another clip of her. I saw a video that she had posted, and she said, "So I wanted to address a few things. People were saying that I was using ChatGPT for my responses.
Yeah.
I just had notes, like, paper notes, because that's normal. I am like a nationally competitive debater.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah. At that point, it's like, okay, now all these things make sense. Like, you are a Cambridge educated competitive debater. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk got cooked. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Destroyed. And like, you can tell it wasn't just a one-off. Her TikToks also show just solid proof that she is that person. She is her. She gives all these great recommendations if you want to learn how to debate and for all this. Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
All right. How old are you?
19.
It's your birthday.
Got him. People asking what Tilly's username is. Is it Blonde Praxis? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, Blonde Praxis.
Fetuses are out of school for the summer. It's possible. Very possible.
Two people still asking. I'll type it out in the chat. Blonde Praxis. I mean, I love that the use of praxis. That's brilliant. But Yeah. Praxis, Praxis. Praxis.
I think I'm about to fix me another cup of coffee. And if we don't have a debate in here by the time I'm done, I'm going to switch over to the phone line.
Sweet.
But until then, you guys can, I'll turn on my camera so you guys can watch me make coffee. Do I have to duck in my kitchen? I actually do. I am tall. We had
Actually, now I vaguely remember this. You're 6'2", right?
6'4".
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know if you missed it, but there was somebody in here earlier telling me that they wanted to meet me in person and beat me up.
I was here for that. Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah.
Dude definitely sounded like he had multiple holes in his drywall and at least one DV charge. Yeah.
Open the phones. Give me a bit. Give me a fit. Give me a bit. Tilly's gonna do live with Dean soon. She said, "Oh, I need to get in her DMs.
Damn.
I need to get in her DMs. The platonic way, chat. The professional way."
Yeah, you engage in praxis.
Kristen, you better be safe out there. Head of FEMA does not know what a hurricane is. Winner, thank you for the 20 SEK. I don't know what the SEK is, but thank you for whatever that is.
Is that South Korean? What's the South Korean currency?
But it's true, and they tried to come out and say it was a joke. It was a joke.
Oh, Swedish krona. Nice.
Dang, that's pretty good then. It's Swedish?
How much did you say it was? 20?
20. Am I a dark roast kind of guy? Yes. I am a black coffee, dark roast, extra scoop of coffee grinds.
Forgot that Sweden wasn't already in the euro.
It's about $2. We'll take it. We'll take it, baby. We'll take it. I'm taking it.
You get cool looking money. Like they have fancy looking currency. Actually, you get a coin because it's 2. Wait, no, we said 20. Never mind. Yeah, you get this situation right here. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Is there like some clear stuff there?
Yeah.
That's just white.
Yeah. Well, so there probably is like a little bit of like plastic or something in this. Like normally, because this is like flat. So this part right here, I guarantee this is like metal or like reflective. Same thing is probably true with this one. I bet you this is like shiny. Those lines right there.
Hold on, guys.
That part is probably shiny. There's probably like some kind of plastic somewhere in here. Yeah.
Kristen, thank you so much, chat. We need 1 million Kristens with a K in chat, 5 minutes straight for $250 donation. I love you back. Thank you so much, Kristen. Holy shit. Thank you so much. W. Kristen, thank you so much. Holy shit. Guys, my coffee is still brewing, but after this, I am going to turn the phone line on. If you guys are hurting for a debate on YouTube, I'll be turning it on.
In true American fashion, the thing that I showed was actually not Swedish. It was Slovakian. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Guys, I'm a pour over girl. Are there no more MAGA on TikTok? I think they're just intimidated. They're intimidated by my my soy boy knowledge and debating skills. They're intimidated by my height.
See, like, I'm 6 foot, and people will tell me, "Oh yeah, you're tall," and I'm just sitting here like, my brother is 6'3", and like a lot of my relatives, like my uncles and stuff, are around that height. So I'm sitting here like, I don't feel tall. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're tall." I don't know.
Hope my boy grows that tall. Give him some of this American hormone-fed milk. It'll probably grow that tall.
Dude, my nephew, I think he's 18, maybe 19 now. He is 6'9".
Jesus Jones.
Yeah.
Damn,
It's
he's trying to be
crazy.
like Barron Trump one day.
Yeah, like it's crazy how tall he is. It's terrifying.
He's trying to be like Big Bro Barron.
Maybe. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am. I'm happy you asked.
What do you like about Trump?
I just think he's great. The best thing ever.
You want to give me something we can talk about? What do you like about everything he's doing?
I think he just stands on business.
What about his nickname that he always chickens out? Doesn't sound like he does, man.
That's just liberals projecting just after 4 years of Biden.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like Biden couldn't really like speak, or like Biden had shit falling off the shelves and prices skyrocketing. But that's what liberals are saying is happening to Trump, and it's just projection.
Biden handed Trump the best economy in the world.
Sure he did. And if you honestly believe that, why is the Democrat, why are they not in office?
Because Trump somehow convinced people like you and many other people that that's not true.
He's just honest. People are just sick and tired of being lied to. It's just what it is.
Where's the lie? Like, what country has a better economy or had a better economy than us in January?
We are the Federal Reserve currency.
we're the Federal Reserve currency.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are. Everyone uses our dollars to trade. Everyone invests in our country.
Okay, I still don't think that's coherent sentence, bro.
What's your problem?
That wasn't a coherent thought or sentence.
How so?
You said that we're the Federal Reserve? Like
Sorry, World Reserve
the
currency.
World Reserve. We're the World Reserve?
Currency, yeah. So when I go to Mexico, I can hand them dollars for pesos.
Okay, but
when I go to Canada, I can hand them dollars for Canadian dollars.
That doesn't
When I go to
describe-
China, I can hand them dollars for yen. When I go to India, I can hand them dollars for rupees. Now,
Yeah.
if I were to go to India and hand them a peso, they wouldn't take it.
I know what that means. I know that
All right,
we're
cool,
the world
cool, cool.
currency, but the
All right,
way you
great.
described it was
Cool.
incoherent.
Was that coherent enough for you, the way I just explained it? Was that
Yeah,
good?
the way your second try was pretty decent.
Pretty fucking good, I would say.
Okay, but yeah.
And by the way, Trump just has a great culture.
Grape culture or what? What kind of
No,
culture?
great culture, great.
Grape culture?
America first. Let's
America
go.
first is pretty incoherent
Yeah.
too.
No, it's 2 words. Let's go.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We have Biden, who passed the infrastructure bill, passed the CHIPS Act, the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, all these things, spent trillions of dollars domestically here on making the United States better. Can you name one thing that Trump did to spend money on America first?
Wait, you just said Biden did all these great things. I remember with Biden, it was $7 gas price and fucking $13 eggs.
Yeah, that was during pandemic. And that was
Mm.
also partially Trump's fault.
Oh, sorry. That's what I remember from Biden.
Okay, but
Maybe
I'm
that's why he
asking you.
didn't
I'm
win.
asking you for evidence about how Trump is America first. Can you take?
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
name a thing of like his first administration
Yeah,
that made him
like so he
America
pulls
first?
this. Yeah, great. Yeah, sure. So he pulls us out of the Ukrainian-Russia war where we're not funding bullshit.
Yeah, but we're still funding Israel, so it's kind of
Well,
inconsistent.
we've been allies with Israel for the last 100 years. Now, Ukraine's a different story.
I thought we were America first, though, dude.
At some point, you got to defend your allies. Is Ukraine an ally? That's the thing. That's the main difference.
You can be an ally with somebody and not have them be in NATO.
And like we funded Ukraine without. Here's America first. We got the minerals deal passed with Ukraine. We got our money back, basically, or are going to get our money back that Biden handed out, and we never saw anything back.
So they are due to pay some of that money back anyway, but it was
Let's
also
go.
0.5% of our military budget, which is a very small thing compared to what the repercussions will be when Russia does get Ukraine and we have to like send our children off to war.
That's all fear-mongering bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that we should stifle Russia right now? And tell me why not?
Fuck no.
Why not?
Because Ukraine, that's their problem. It's not our problem.
It's everybody's problem. Do you know what the Budapest Memorandum is?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
It's some little agreement that Ukraine would denuclearize.
And what was our part of the agreement?
I don't know what was our part because I know what wasn't a part of our agreement. If you do say something.
Okay, so we were
Done
supposed to
extensive
defend
research
them
on this.
if they were ever being threatened, if their
We're not
sovereignty were
obligated
ever
to
threatened.
defend them.
We're not obligated, but what was the agreement about?
I mean, if we can just agree right there that we're not obligated to defend them, sure. Like, yeah,
Why
maybe
would you say we're not obligated? That's what our end of the agreement
because that's
was.
what it's like. Nowhere in the document, the 4-page document, does it say we're obligated.
Bullet point
to
number
defend
5
them.
literally says
Yeah, no, we're not obligated to defend them at all.
You're just saying that, but it's literally bullet point number 5. You want me to
No,
read it
it's
for you?
not. It's not. Yeah, put it on your screen, matter of fact, and I'll vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay. Security assurances, memorandum on security assurances, 1994. It said to pledged to respect Ukraine's independence and sovereignty and to refrain from the threat or use of force against it. The memorandum is also part of an effort to encourage Ukraine to give up its nuclear weapons. Let's see.
Not there, Bubba.
Okay. So bullet point number 4 is seek immediate Security Council action to provide assistance to the signatory if they should become victim of an act of aggression. So action to provide assistance to the signatory being Ukraine, should they become a victim of an act of aggression, aka
What are we obligated to do that?
Seek immediate Security Council action to provide assistance.
To provide assistance. Okay.
Yeah. That is
Yeah, I
something
think we're
we
providing
signed. We
enough
signed below
assistance
that,
right now.
Did
Yeah,
we
aren't
sign
we
below that or
providing
no?
assistance by trying to negotiate peace talks? Shouldn't that be enough?
They're not even showing up.
Well, that's tough. I don't know what to say, dude. Sorry.
Dang.
Sorry, Ukraine. Maybe don't pick a fight with
it sounds
the
like
big bully.
It sounds like they picked a fight. They were
Sounds
invaded.
like we shouldn't defend every fucking thing going across the whole world.
Okay, or we should honor our nuclear peace treaties, like the most sacred.
No, maybe we should denuclearize as many people as we can, even if we got to fucking lie about it.
Who would ever trust us in a nuclear deal after we just broke this one? Who the fuck would do that?
I don't know. That's like Iran's about to denuclearize.
All right, somebody already paid to kick you. I'm proud of you, though.
Okay.
Super proud of you. It was Melanie. Thank you so much. Melanie with 2 N's. Kick, your guest, how Johnny has been having a hard week. It was it was linked to anti-Semitism. Do better, Robert. I have a pay to kick slush.
Somehow not very surprising.
Yeah, W Melanie.
But while you still have that up, him saying it's not there about
Hello
point
there,
1
Pickles.
also
How are you doing?
technically violated.
Hello, Pickles. How are you doing? Lovely. Long time no speak.
Hello,
you
Auntie.
well?
Hello, I'm doing great. And I'm sorry, Nemo. I'll let you finish what you were saying. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying point 1 on the list that you have up right there also was violated, which very simply just respect the borders as they were in 94.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Yeah. Thank you. That's right there.
Yeah. I thought I'd just pop up. I won't be up here long because I know you'd rather eat than you know.
The man,
drink,
the legend,
if that
super
makes any
chatted
sense.
$5. Pickles, my brother in Christ. I love you more than you know. I was once like you, lost and in a fallen state. You will be a conservative soon. I love you.
I love you back. Thank you.
Yeah. So the Budapest Memorandum, because if is actually an addendum to the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty that was signed in the 80s. The scope of that treaty allowed for additions or modifications post ratification. And it is not just a memorandum; it is part of the framework of that treaty. So when some people try and argue that it's just a general agreement, it is not. It is part of the main framework of the treaty, and also Ukraine sent 10,000 troops to both Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11 because America asked for help, and the assumption was, and perhaps more fool the Ukrainians given the fact that some Americans have got this whole attitude of screw Ukraine, basically. That, hey, well, America promised to come to our aid if we need it, so we're going to help now because it's the right thing to do. Just because it costs a bit of money, when both President Macron and Prime Minister Starmer both visited the White House the week during the meeting with Zelensky in the White House between Trump and Zelensky, both of them said the aggressor pays reparations. So I would like to know, actually, Pickles, perhaps you can answer this, is why so many right-wing Americans keep on saying that Ukraine owes America all of this money because Ukraine didn't even bill America for its contributions during the war on terror, and simultaneously why these right-wing Americans keep on saying that they must pay now, and nobody's saying, hey, Russia, you're the aggressor, you're going to pay the reparations.
It's true. I also want to pull this up for somebody on YouTube saying that Wiki was a bad source. Here is directly from the government, treaties.un.org. That's not the government, but it's a .org, and this is the actual treaty that was signed. It's also got it in all of the different languages of all the signatories. So, and it's the exact same word for word that it was found on Wikipedia. It's the same thing. It's actually slightly, it's got a few more words in it. The United States reaffirmed their commitment to seek United Nations Security Council. So that's, I think, it
would have to have the Security Council guarantee because it was based upon the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty, which had to be ratified at the UN, as well as the individual states involved, which at that time was basically what was then the United Soviet Socialist Republic and, of course, the United States of America. Now, when you look at the scope and scale, and apologies to anybody thinking I'm monologuing, because Pickles knows I'm a subject expert at this particular issue. We are looking at multiple decades of treaties and international law that has been created to try and enforce the peace, because otherwise the only other option is that we let every single nation nuclearize. That would also include some of our enemies. Now, currently, one of our enemies is the IRGC, which is the Iranian Republican Guard, which is the not the Iranian people overall, because there are many Persians in Iran still that don't like the current regime and have been trying to do their own fight internally for decades within Iran itself. But this rhetoric, if we're going to continue down this rhetoric, then let's just say it how it is. We just need one massive war, and the next war, it doesn't matter how cool our technology is today, but it'll be fought with sticks and stones. So what is it that people don't get? If Russia succeeds in Ukraine because we have abandoned them, it is a massive dereliction of duty on our own behalf as well, because the next targets with a resurgent Russia will be all of the old Eastern Bloc countries, and then we will be forced into the worst war this planet will have ever seen, and it'll be over very quickly because people will start dropping the big weapons, and we don't want that.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
And I just don't understand why people are arguing against this. It's like, hey, we don't want weapons dropping everywhere, but we're going to make the circumstances so that the weapons will have to be fired. It's just asinine, it's pathetic, and I do not want to hear about Hunter Biden's fucking laptop. I don't want to hear about Biden. I am considering that this conflict has been going on since 2014, and before that, Russia was also doing things like invading Georgia and has been maintaining a military presence in
the man, the
in
legend, super
other
chatted
countries.
$2. Him crying. Him sad. Words. Trump's bad.
You're gonna make me, the legend, guys. I'm about to up the requirement for you to do voice speech to text with super chat. This is getting out of hand.
Yeah. Well, I won't keep you, Pickles, but yeah, I dare any MAGA to come up and speak to Pickles, not mention Hillary's emails, Hunter Biden's laptop, or Biden, like that's the only thing that the hamster that is currently in charge of the thing that you call a brain is only capable of seeing. Learn your history, recognize the truth, and stop listening to bullshit. Thanks, Pickles. I appreciate you letting me up.
Anytime. Thank you, Auntie.
Lots of love.
Much love. Guys, we are. What's up? What's up, Buzzy?
Hi, I'm just here to launch insults. I have nothing kind to say. Here's the thing, right? To answer the question of Auntie Biscuit prior, that was being asked, why do MAGA XYZ? There's a couple questions being there. And the main reason is because MAGA don't read. They're allergic to literature. Words on a page just float and they turn into black lines. They can't recognize uh, any form of syntax. Even when they're speaking themselves, they don't use correct sentences. You can't really expect much out of people that can't formulate thought in real time. There's really nothing. To garner from those people, to be honest. Even when uh, the memorandum is in front of your face, they pretend it's not real. Apparently, everything is conspiracy. And so, personally, I'm merely just to be here. I don't know how everybody else feels, but me, personally, I say when they bring up conspiracy, you take it further, okay? Yeah, the Budapest Memorandum is not real, and neither is the Constitution. It's a figment of your imagination. What now? You have no rights to firearms. They don't exist. They were stolen in your sleep. When they bring up conspiracy, when they go low, you take it to hell. There's really nothing else to do. You might as well be entertained. You're not going to get anything else beneficial out of the conversation. They want to bring up their faith and their religion and their morality clauses. They voted for a man that grapes people, holds Bibles upside down, and can't recite a verse to save his life. You're really not getting anything that's going to be any sort of benefit to talk about. So you might as well just go lower, right? You might as well just find the pits of hell if you can. And that's my personal belief. Hi, Neemsy. Hi, Pickles.
Hi, Buzzy. I always enjoy hearing your soothing cadence and voice.
I don't think I said anything beneficial there. Besides drag people. Personally, there's some shit I'm never letting go. I'm be real, there's some shit I'm never letting go. Anytime somebody wants to talk to me about the raw milk situation, I'm never letting that shit go. Fucking conservatives are like, raw milk is only bad for you if it's old. Bitch, go pick up a goddamn book. Louis Pasteur didn't die for this shit. And again, they can't read. It floats on a page. It's all black lines. It probably looks like little ink splotches. You could hold up a page from a book and ask them what it reminds them of, and I bet you they'll tell you it's shaped like a goddamn cow. It's just, there's nothing.
Yeah. If they could read the most recent report from the Health Human Services and their citations for their findings, they'd be pretty upset.
Exactly. Goddamn exactly. And so that's where I'm at with this. I think personally, if they want to believe that ignorance is bliss,
The man, the
I
legend, super
say
chatted
operate in
$5.
ignorance.
Excuse me, I'm speaking now. Not cool, bro. I'm trying to help out and have fun. Pickles, I thought we were boys. We go way back. Then you block my chat.
Heavens to Betsy. Guys, super chats, if
That
you
sounds
text to speech, they're
personal.
up to 5. Yeah, I know. You gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill.
That sounds personal. Nemo, was that written by you?
No, that was somebody on YouTube. The man, the legend.
Are you sure, Namesy? You would have thought they knew Pickles personally, the way they took that shit to heart.
Oh, I mean, they're definitely they're taking it personally. It was not made by me though.
It was
Also, I have to assume this was a joke. Dirty Politics said that I don't know nothing and spelled it Nuthen. Listen. All right, Dirty. I hope you're having the time of life in the continents. Grammar is not your strong suit.
Catch you later, Kristen. Be safe. Be safe. Let me know if y'all need an Uber or anything.
If you're gonna insult people, at least spell it correctly. My God, you're giving me ammo at this point. Stop loading the clip for me.
Um, guys, we're running low on opposition here on YouTube, by the way. Oh, here we go. All right, we might have a debate. Yellow.
Howdy.
How have we talked before?
No, we have not talked before. I just came across your stream on YouTube Reels.
Okay. All right. What do you
I
like
just want
about,
to know.
what do you like about Trump?
So I'm 50-50 with Trump, all right? So when he came into the office, he definitely did screw me over because I work a federal job with the military. However,
Did you
that's
get
just my
fired?
job. However, I did not get fired, but the hiring freeze did mess me up a little bit. However, the hiring freeze is over, so I'm able to get back into it. However, what is your opinions about him so I can understand your standpoint on Trump?
I think his economic policy is incoherent. I think his foreign policy is disastrous. I think everything about him shouts narcissism. I think he's the least capable person to ever be a diplomat for America.
Okay.
I think he's a malignant narcissist. I don't think it's an exaggeration. We just saw a picture of him the other day. He has a picture of himself as a background on his phone. I don't know. His tariffs are a disaster. The economy is going to shrink because of what he's doing. He's raising your taxes and making you cheer for it. He's exploding the deficit and the debt. I think that he has no idea what he's doing, and he hired 15 billionaires into his administration to do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with the foreign policy. What didn't you like about the foreign policy?
I think him stopping sending aid to Ukraine was a disaster. I think that we are now more alone on the world stage than we've ever been in recent history. I think all of our allies have abandoned us. I mean, as of, what was it, yesterday, Ukraine started doing military actions without consulting the United States. And I think it was a good move on their part. I think that all of NATO is discussing their budget for the upcoming 5 or 10 years, and they did not include buying defense weapons from the United States for the first time in recent history. I think that Trump's actions with deportations, such as sending people to war-torn countries for no reason other than to maybe as a deterrent for migration, is horrible. I think him aiding Israel is horrible. I think him taking money from Qatar, who is also like the leaders of people who fund Hamas, is completely contradictory to Israel's movements. I think that his defense team, Department of Defense, doing the leak on Signal Chat and using unofficial means of communication for classified information is a disaster. I think is a security.
That was a disaster.
It's a failure on like the most fundamental level.
Now, however, for cutting funding for Ukraine, I'm not going to lie. I fully support Ukraine. However, I don't think America should be the backbone for funding Ukraine.
I think that it literally makes no difference. Like Trump, we could easily send Ukraine money and it not affect our economy in any bad way, not affect our taxes in any significant way whatsoever.
We sent billions to Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. 0.5% of our military budget.
Where the billions of dollars coming from? It's coming from the taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm not gonna lie. I do hate how Trump's still funding Israel. However, he's fighting for a ceasefire.
Yeah,
and
I don't think anybody takes Trump seriously in that regard.
What? Why do you? Can I ask why you think he's fighting for a ceasefire? What about Trump Gaza makes you think that he's fighting for a ceasefire?
He's been asking Israel to host a ceasefire with Palestine for over months now, and I think it should happen. However, Israel's not listening to us. However, I'm a pro-isolationist. I don't think we should be giving money to foreign countries for means of defense or offense. We shouldn't be giving money to Israel for.
I think it's short-sighted. I don't like Israel, but I think it's
I don't
short-sighted for that to be your policy.
The man
Uh,
legend super chatted $5. Bro, if you think that stuff about Trump is bad, wait until you read about George Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama.
Okay,
You'll
all right,
be a
but
conservative
still,
soon.
oh my god.
But
Still, it doesn't. I forgot I fucking lost my train of thought. But it was
Talking about
0.5 of our
Israel.
military budget that we were sending Ukraine, and we owed it to them. We signed an agreement that denuclearized Ukraine, and if we want the rest of the world to ever make a nuclear agreement with us ever again, we should uphold our agreement, and we should also back any nation who's fighting for its own sovereignty and its own borders, in aggression from an authoritarian country or leader like Russia.
Why are you pro isolationism? And why do you think isolationism is a good thing?
because why do we have any other business in another world, other countries? Why do we have any business there?
So America is the world's what?
It's a world superpower, but like, why should
in being the world's superpower, what is one of the things that makes us a world superpower?
So you want to police other countries
No. What makes us a world superpower?
because we have the highest military budget. We have won wars. We've lost wars too. However, we are the ones who are intervening in every single foreign conflict. However, why should we send young boys to fight in foreign conflicts?
So actually, that's not the answer, but it's more simple than that. To be a world superpower, it's very distinctive. So the reason why we are the number one world superpower is one, the size of our military, our land mass, our location, the fact that we have two oceans, and the
If
other
we're talking about
thing,
landmass, we're a
and
trading superpower. However, if we're talking about a world superpower, why do you think we should send young boys to die overseas?
so I
for foreign
was not
conflicts?
done talking.
Like,
I was
okay,
not done talking. And the last thing that makes us a world superpower is our economy. The United States dollar is economy backed, and it's not just backed by our economy. It's backed by the economy of other countries. As a matter of fact, for the conspiracy theorists that claim the dollar is tanking, which it's not, if something ever happened to the dollar, the first country to go down would actually not be the United States of America. It would be China. Because the United States dollar is economy backed, and not just by our economy, because of colonization and capitalism. That's why the United States of America cannot isolate.
okay. Going off that, how do you think about the tariffs on China?
I think they're incoherent. They're horrible. There's nothing on the other side of these negotiations that is worth the shrinking in GDP and the increase of taxes that we're going to be paying. And I think it's a Trojan horse for Trump to raise our taxes.
Okay, so
Tariffs
what
are
would you
always a
what would you
thing,
rather
but
have?
tariffs unchecked are irresponsible because of how tariffs work and how it puts the weight on the consumer. On the opposite side of that, when our dollar is so intertwined, it makes no sense.
So would you rather have our businesses go over to these countries such as China, Vietnam, Thailand, and do like they basically run on slave labor in sweatshops?
When you call a call center because you're having a problem with, I don't know, let's say your phone bill, do the people that answer, are they in America, or do they sound like they're possibly somewhere else?
They sound like they're possibly somewhere else.
But
However,
with that being said, these companies are already doing businesses in other countries because labor is cheaper. But that's because of currency
exactly, it's
exchange and
cheaper.
how that's because of currency exchange and how that works, and also because other countries don't have some of the same laws we have here. So they're going to do what they can get away with because, once again, capitalism and colonization play a big role into this. So yeah, maybe there should be a conversation that
Exactly, there is a
these
conversation.
businesses should be paid. The conversation should be that these businesses are paying the same wage they would pay to American that they would pay in America to these people in other countries paying, and that would change things.
Yeah,
But because there is no law allowing this, they do what they can get away with because, well, the United States of America can't tell other countries what to do, can they?
Yeah, the tariffs will not resolve that issue. The tariffs will never change the dynamic of how we pay our people here, and that our minimum wage and our dollar is worth more. The standard or cost of living is more here in America. So inevitably, if we carbon copied a business or a manufacturing center in China or Vietnam, and we made one here on American soil, it would not be able to compete with those those manufacturing sites in China or Vietnam, because our minimum wage will make things inherently more expensive, and the world will not buy those things from us. They will continue to buy them from China. So our tariffs, us hiding behind tariffs, will not only stifle
America, such as because in my state, the minimum wage is $7 an hour. Don't you think with the amount of homeless people we have in our country, they would work for $7 an hour just to make a quick buck?
Even minimum wage would still be more expensive than minimum wage in China or Vietnam.
So, what would you rather advocate for?
I think you're oversimplifying a very complicated situation, and a lot of that is due to American laws. So the number one hindrance to people that are houseless not being able to get jobs is the fact that they are houseless and they do not have addresses to put down. Unfortunately, employers require addresses and baseline because of how taxes work and the fact that they have to be reported to the IRS. Not having an address, not having a license, not having any sort of identification is the biggest hindrance to houseless people not getting a job. Also, you have the societal standards for what is cleanly and what is deemed to be appropriate when working in businesses. And if you don't have money to take care of all those things, you have nothing. And people would say the easiest simplification of that would be to get a P.O. box. Well, to have a P.O. box, you also have to have money.
However, so you would rather have people overseas work for slave wages than have the homeless people in their country. And yeah, I do believe
it's not that we would rather have it. It's that
you are really insane.
The tariffs are not a solution to this.
Homeless people.
It's not that we would rather have it. I'm saying your proposed idea is not a solution to this. That doesn't work.
I'm not saying it's a solution. I'm saying it's a work in progress in order to get up.
It's not even that. It doesn't make sense.
I think you leaped and jumped there to something that I'm not saying. So in the United States of America, we do have social service programs. We do have social service programs. The problem is that Republicans have done their damnedest over different presidencies to make those programs hard to be accessible by anybody. Currently in the United States of America, to receive any sort of assistance from any one of the programs that our taxes, the money they take out of our paychecks every 2 weeks or every month, depending on how you get paid, those taxes that we have no say in, they make it very difficult for people to get access to that funding. Currently, right now, to get any assistance from a government-funded program, you have to be making less than the area median income. You have to be under poverty. You can't be just barely making it. And if you make even a cent over, you don't qualify for that assistance. With that being said, if you have to be making less than the area median income, and I mean 30% of that, that's the only way to receive assistance. And then if you do qualify for that assistance, you get assistance and you make it over that threshold, they immediately rip up any sort of assistance you were getting because now you make too much, which puts you back in the poverty threshold. So there are a lot of people that have to stay in poverty just to be able to take care of their families, because when they start doing better, the resources get taken away and they're no longer doing better. We don't have programs in the United States of America that lean towards stability, but lean towards dependency, because there is no sort of bridge program in between. So really what we should be doing in this catch-22 situation is creating a bridge that allows people that are coming up to come up without all their benefits being ripped away, and maybe some sort of situation where we dwindle how much they receive until they can sustain.
However, what about Trump's tax cut for people who make underneath $100,000 annually?
So Trump's tax cuts in its majority benefit the wealthy. Majority of his tax cuts benefit the wealthy. As a matter of fact, we don't even have to go back and forth about this. If you look at that big ass, ugly ass bill, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I think it's called the Big Beautiful Bill. My fault. If you go look at that Big Beautiful Bill, it actually adds money to the...
Underneath $100,000.
I didn't interrupt you when you were talking once again.
I know.
Okay,
However,
so
I'm not
again,
giving
if you
an
look at
opportunity to
that
speak.
bill, and as a matter of fact, Elon Musk just addressed this and stated it's one of the reasons why he doesn't like this bill. If you look at that bill, because of the tax cuts that are being applied to the wealthy, it actually added money to our deficit. regardless of how much money they cut, and they cut trillions, and the goal of this budget was to cut trillions of dollars. No matter how much money they cut, that bill that they're trying to get in place now still adds money to our deficit because of the tax cuts that don't benefit the working poor, because the United States of America, by demographic, no longer has a middle class. And we really haven't had a middle class since Reagan. That's not Trump's fault. Reagan's just a little bitch. Sorry.
Okay, but like, how does that affect the working class if he's including tax cuts for people who make underneath $100,000 annually? How?
Because the majority of the people in the United States of America, majority make about 40 grand a year. The average American is making like 40 grand a year. If you look,
this is a representation of how things were divvied up in that bill. If you're making over $150,000, the richest 20% of America, they received 68% of the trillions and trillions of dollars that Trump is giving people a tax break on. 1% goes to the poorest 20, 5% goes to the second poorest. Mind you, the people in these left two columns, that is the majority of America. So for you to thank Trump and cheer this on is silly.
I'm not cheering it on. Like I told you, honestly, I'm a centrist, but I think if we were going down the other path, we'd be a lot terrible. I think tariffs are it's going to be a rough ride. However, I think in the long run, it will be pretty good. We see businesses and work coming back to America.
That's not
because they left after Richard Nixon.
I apologize. Your sound was cutting out. I didn't mean to speak that time. So here's the thing. That's not how that works. So the last time Donald Trump was in office, he tried to follow this same pathway. And there's a specific material, steel, actually, to be exact, that got hit. The steel industry got hit. Those people never got their jobs back. Those jobs never returned to the United States of America. And the people in those trades took a big hit. Now, you're saying that tariffs are going to benefit America, but we just discussed that most Americans are making 40 grand a year, which means that in a two-person household, you're seeing somewhere to about $80,000, right? In the two-parent household, if the average American is making about 40 grand, and actually I think it's a little bit less. I think it's like 37,000 the average American is making, but you're seeing roughly about 80 grand if you have two people in a household. If that's still under the 100 grand, and that's two people, right? And on top of that, Trump just impacted our workforce to the tune of thousands because of all the federal workers that lost their jobs due to him using the power of executive orders to gut programs because he didn't have the power of Congress to completely shut them down. And so if people have no money to pay for groceries, if people have no money to keep a roof over their head, if people have no money to care for their daily living expenses, they have no money to spend on anything else. Tariffs are just going to hinder, and that's also going to include the cost of food rising. As a matter of fact, before the court stepped in, and it's one of my favorite branches, the judicial branch is really working hard. Truly, if you see a judge today, shake their hand. My God. So when all of this happened with the tariffs, before the judges stepped in and put a halt to that bullshit, one of the things that was most noticeable in the ports were there were no shipments of food coming in, meaning that there were a lot of people in rural area that were about to be ass out. And let's not also forget that we have other territories, right? And we also have states that are not connected to the mainland. So we're looking at Hawaii, we're looking at Guam, we're looking at Puerto Rico, and we're looking at Alaska. So if you have bare minimum food coming in, you also have importation costs for sending them to these territories and states that are necessarily not connected to the mainland. That rises costs too in rural areas where people already have nothing. How is that beneficial? It's true. I forgot about the American Samoa. I don't want to leave them out.
We're going back because we are still coming out of a quarantine. And if you ever looked at the news where our storage and our ports are backed up because there's not enough workers. Because of the quarantine.
What?
because of the quarantine, and that was underneath the Biden administration.
No,
So,
because why? Because why? Why are there not enough workers currently? Certain contracts happened. The USAID
I
is
think it's
heavily
because
involved
people are
in a
not being
certain
paid enough.
industry.
People are not being paid enough.
No, the USAID is heavily involved in a certain industry. As a matter of fact, some people of that industry have been on this very app we're sitting on right now,
How much do you
talking
make an
about
hour?
how it's causing them to lose their family businesses. With that being said, when you don't have things to transport or things to export, you lose workers because the supply is there, but there is no demand. And when there's also no demand, there's no supply.
How much do you make an hour?
Personally, I'm doing pretty good in my situation.
Okay,
But I
that
budget
didn't
very
answer my
well.
question.
I
How
work
much
in
do you make
social
an hour?
services. I'll never be rich.
Okay. How much do you make an hour?
Again, I work in social services. I'll never be rich.
How much? Just give me like what, $25 an hour?
I'm
$4,000
salary,
an
so
hour?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm salary, so I don't
Your
know.
salary, okay. Not many people can get salary, which good for
I
you.
know, which is why I
However,
say I budget very well within my salary. I live
the dock
comfortably
workers make
within my salary.
47. Dock.
No,
You don't know?
I'm salary, so I don't
Your
know.
salary, okay. Not many people can get salary, which good for
I
you.
know, which is why I
However,
say I budget very well within my salary. I live comfortably